So, I got a question for you real quick, Mike. Why does your camera look fucking impeccable right now, but that podcast you were on like last night looked like ass?
I don't know.
Lighting?
I imagine it would have something to do with whatever it was he was using.
Like
So
that was StreamYards,
yeah,
clearly. Like
yeah,
because right now you are like crystal fucking clear.
I know, right?
I've never seen your camera look this good. Like ever. Like
That's what you get when you spend $100 on a camera that does 1080p.
yeah, this one does too. I just don't
Yeah.
stream in 1080p because it's a waste of fucking space on mine.
Well, yeah, exactly.
All right.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body.
All right, so let me ask you guys something.
Yeah.
So we're all Transformers fans here. We tend to buy, either third party or mainline, just depending on the situation. But we're also other kinds of collections, right? And then even you, Sean, you're used to buying other model kits and such.
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask you this. And this is a thought I had with the discussion. In I think it was on the Discord, the main SHOKY Discord, and should every subsequent reuse of a mold, whether it's a figure or a model, cost less than the original? Like,
Hmm.
if it's just a straight mold, just repainted, nothing extra, why does it generally cost more? It
Well,
doesn't seem to make sense.
it does and it doesn't. There is a reason for that.
Okay, well, explain.
Well, okay, let's take Make Toys for example. When they were doing their whole crowdfunding thing for what was it, Sunstorm and Digi whatever, the purple one. Yeah, because a lot of people were asking, why are you crowdfunding this when you already have the mold made, right? There's two things. First of all, one is greed because
Yes.
they base it off of the popularity, right? It's like, oh well, if this first batch sold out, or uh, whatever reason, right?
Mhm.
Then we can probably stand to make more money if we re-release it again. The other reason is the more that you make product with those molds, um, the molds can run out, like they can wear out.
Yeah.
So more do have to be made, and which is sometimes in the thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars.
Oops. I
But then
accidentally.
again, for a company to remake a mold, I mean, if they're already making a bunch of profit, um, is kind of a drop in the bucket, regardless.
Well, the main thing that
Depending.
the main thing that brought this up was basically TJ Omega dropped a video the other day, um, talking about the most reused mold in Transformers history, and it was
Yeah.
I think it was Generation Starscream, and he went over either very very slight remolds or added stuff to it, and I think
Oh yeah.
it in particular had like 25 reuses.
Wow.
And that's the obvious Seeker repaints and doing cone heads and then doing every possible version of it down the line and maybe even rescaling it, so to speak. But it brought up the idea, like, so New Age is doing all their Seekers, they're doing all of their versions of Optimus Prime,
Right.
and the mold isn't changing, well, with the exception of the new like 1.5s.
Yeah.
But it's still 99% the same mold. But every subsequent re-release, even if it's just a new paint job or just a plastic color swap,
Right.
has almost always cost more.
Oh yeah.
And but this goes back to my initial question: should it not?
Well, you kind of also have to look at the global market for petroleum because, plastics are technically a petroleum product as well. So, you literally also have to look at the oil market as well. So, if the cost of oil is going up, guaranteed the cost for your materials, which primarily is oil, is going to cost more as
Oh,
well.
okay.
Because
So
cost of those materials that
that
goes up.
that makes sense. That does make
Yeah.
sense. However, let's go back to say 2019 or 2018, 2019, 2020.
Right.
Basically where the market was essentially very stable.
Right.
And Hasbro started the War for Cybertron trilogy. Look how many times they've reused stuff from the Siege mold with just a
Yeah.
minor repaint or a recast of plastics, but it's always cost more, whether or not it probably put any extra effort or money into the production of said thing.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Thank
Sh-
God I don't get them.
So, Sean, as someone who repaints things on purpose, what is your thoughts on that?
I've often wondered that myself, why some of the repaints would be more. And my first theory would be, well, how many are they going to make? Are they going to make the same production amount? If not, I would assume it would be higher to get that repaint of less made.
Limited edition, basically.
Yeah, and
That
I
that I
think
that I could believe in.
the other thing that I would take a guess on is maybe, don't have an example off the top of my head, but maybe the repaint won't sell as much. So what we can project we might sell, we're gonna have to jack that price up to try to make it worth our while.
I could see that in a limited, once again, a limited edition concept, or if you're going, say, let's say the Siege Seeker mold got used a buttload. So we got our 3 original Seekers.
Yeah.
We got we didn't get Coneheads, but we got Rainmakers, and those basically just sat on the shelf at Target. Nobody was buying those things. Um, and with the exception of a few. Now that's even if you could get all 3 original Rainmakers, because they sold them in 3 different ways. Starscream was a wide release. I think Thundercracker was sold as an Amazon exclusive or something,
Right.
and Skywarp was an Amazon exclusive with a little buddy bot. So I never actually completed that set because I could never get a hold of Skywarp. But I think since they all came out at the same time, they all cost the same with the additional cost of adding in another figure. But if you get to the next repaints, or you get to what is the red one called? I forgot what his name is.
I
So
don't know.
yeah, so that was a Target exclusive, but I think he cost more. But that might be less people are going to buy it, so they cranked the price up. But it also came out maybe a year later. Then you get into the premium finish, the premium finish versions of all of these figures. So we've got premium finish Optimus, Megatron, and Starscream so far from the
Yeah.
Siege line. They are still the exact same figure,
Yep.
just painted to the nines.
Yep.
And they're charging significantly more.
Of course.
So,
Because
and I get, go ahead.
it's primarily about marketing, right?
Yeah.
It's almost always about the marketing. If you can make it sound so exclusive, limited, hyped up, whatever, it's all a psychological thing, right? If you can make it sound so exclusive, you can up the price by, I don't know, $50, $75 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And hype it up so much. And for some odd reason, psychologically speaking, it almost makes you believe that it's a justifiable price when it's just basically a repaint.
I could see that
Yeah.
in some excuses, because I do buy a lot of recolors and repaints, especially when it comes to shattered glass stuff.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's mold differences when it comes to those things. But and I guess the best excuse would be the limited edition nature and the idea of like selling it specifically through Amazon or something like that. If it came down to that variation versus you're still buying it at Walmart on the shelf.
Yeah. Oh,
So
and making it in limited number also helps as well, right?
yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess that is, but I guess my opinion was like, why wouldn't it just get cheaper over time the more you've made of it? If you've managed to sell everything that's come before, especially if you shortchanged it in the first place, and then people are having to
Because it's
come
more
back and buy it.
profitable. It's more profitable to make it sound like it's an exclusive, limited in number.
Oh, but I'm not even talking about
You
that. I'm
know,
talking about releasing the exact same figure. Like nothing changed, just we're
right?
putting out another wave of the same figure because there wasn't enough of it the first wave.
Hmm.
And it could potentially, depending on when it
Sometimes it
came back
happens.
out, it could be, could be more expensive
Yeah.
sometimes. But that's just, I guess because I see them milking the shit out of the
Well, of
Siege
course.
line, but not the Earthrise line, not the, well, I guess they are doing the Kingdom line. They're just adding more figures. We just got Tigatron that just came out in that line, which is just a slightly oversized version of Cheetor's mold.
Yeah.
A little bit of redeco and remolding, and then immediately you get repaints of those. You get the prototype version of Cheetor. I'm sorry, Tigatron that just came out with the mutant head. So that was
Yeah.
a golden disc collection exclusive. Cost more. Same figure with just a new head. No new accessories, just a new head swap and a new paint job. Shadow Panther, which is exactly the same mold, just painted black of Cheetor. Should be the same cost, but I think technically in some places it's like $1 or $2 more, but that could just be market inflation. I don't know. It's always bothered me, and I look around at the Power Ranger stuff I've got, and I'm like, half of these bodies are exactly the same. It's just how they're painted. It's
Oh, yeah,
like,
of course.
so they're milking the shit out of the Legacy line was way worse from Bandai.
Yeah.
That they reuse the same bodies on virtually every one if they couldn't add a new molding to say like an armband or a kneecap for armor or something like that. It was like 90% the same mold. But I don't know. I guess I don't understand this version of doing a thing. Because in my mind, and this is just me, I'm just voicing an opinion, there's nothing else. It's just like if you're making the same thing repeatedly, the more you have of it, the more you sell of it, the cheaper it should get over time, just due to normal that's what I'm looking for. Um
Availability.
yeah, I'm just trying to think
Yeah.
of the thing. Yeah, so but I mean that's just my thoughts on it because I was like, other than inflation, which is obvious, thanks Biden. Thanks COVID and Biden. Um it's just like I just look at it like shit that cost $20 for the figure the first time cost
Right.
$26 for the exact same figure with slightly different paint.
Well, here's the other thing also.
Yes.
You also have shareholders that
Oh, fuck the
you must
shareholders.
keep happy. So if you're not making a profit, you're not keeping those shareholders happy. And if they aren't making money, well, then you might end up looking for a new job.
I think, well, I mean, obviously we'd have to look into it, but in the case of Hasbro, I don't think not making money has been their problem. Well, at least they had to make up for losing Pokemon, but
Never underestimate the power of human greed.
oh, I never do. I mean,
There you go.
we live in America. We completely understand this.
And we are next door influenced by you guys.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
can't be
speaking
helped.
speaking of our neighbors to the north, I think I speak for the entire group here, plus a few million Canadians. Fuck you, Justin Trudeau. Big, whopping middle fucking finger, both hands, maybe even the middle toes.
No, you cannot be saying that of Overlord Justin Trudeau. He is great and glorious leader, and he will take us to future.
Right.
Because there's nothing like socialism to put people in line and boot on throat.
Or hooves on heads.
Or hooves on hips running over old ladies.
running
Using
over
walkers.
running over old ladies in protest with big ass
That is
horses.
right. They stand in the way of progress. Oh, fuck it.
Yeah, you lost it.
Progressivism. so
For,
she obviously needed to be dealt with in the harshest manner possible.
yeah, I think all of the however many hundreds of people who have been arrested so far
Yeah.
just for protesting peacefully. I think the most
Which
violent,
is allowed under our charter.
which is allowed. Yep.
Yep.
And which is why he basically had to use emergency wartime powers
Yep.
to basically make these people enemies of the state.
Which has not been used
Since
since World War II.
II. And also was not discussed by your parliament.
No, it was not. It was never used under Chrétien, another French prime minister, during 9/11,
Yep.
and it was not used when a crazy person ran into Parliament, killing a veteran. On top of that, under Prime Minister Harper, who was conservative. And it was not used, I believe, last year when there was a blockade on a rail line moving essentially, I think it was oil or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
When a bunch of natives blockaded a railroad. So
Were those freedom lovers, or were those different type of protesters?
Apparently they were, and
Because I haven't
it's
heard
not
about
that
that.
I'm against blockades or anything like that.
Just
I'm
do
the
it the
type of
right way.
person. Yeah, just
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
But Trudeau sent a delegation there to talk about it.
Oh, he did?
Oh yeah, he did.
Interesting.
But he didn't in this case because
They're
white
honking.
male truckers, even though
They were honking.
oh yeah, and nobody could get to sleep. Wah. But
Actually, that's a
there were-
lie. Because they shut it off at 9 p.m.
Well, yeah, because I think it was like after a couple of weeks, there was a delegation that went to the mayor of Ottawa.
Yeah.
And so it was signed that basically they can't honk anymore after 10 days, which essentially bought them time, not the truckers, but those in opposition essentially. And then the end result is what happened with the police, which is also kind of hilarious, considered that within the past week, literally, the Ottawa police, 2 police chiefs resigned.
Yep, I heard about that.
Yep. So yeah, I guess somebody did not exactly fit the criteria for police fascism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
frankly,
but anyway, the whole point is those what's been shoved through Parliament has just not been used since World War II, really.
It wasn't even really shoved through Parliament. They didn't get to even have their discussion about it. They decided to go ahead and take the break instead and let Trudeau just run amok all weekend long.
Pretty much. And so now anybody connected with supporting the truckers, the protesters and whatnot,
yes,
all their bank accounts have been essentially shut down, so you can't buy anything. Essentially has been seized,
and the money sent, the money donated and sent even through Give Send Go has been intercepted. It was not even that was not managed to get through to anyone. And even
and anybody just remote, so anybody remotely supporting the truckers, all their bank accounts have been seized. Anyone in Canada, right? Anyone, like say if it was me that donated, I don't know, $5, bam, locked away. I can't buy, sell, or whatever.
And
right?
they may or may not even come and arrest you, depending.
Precisely, right? So.
And I'm sure you've heard this, but I want to hear Sean's reaction to this. So they were threatening to remove people's children who may have been at the protest and keeping them away from their parents.
Yeah.
Or if they discovered said person donated or was supporting remotely, they may or may not remove the children from the home because of quote unquote terroristic actions.
Yes.
And then even on top of this, Sean, you love dogs, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So they said that while they arrested you, they would also put your animals in kennels to be held, and
And
they had
euthanized.
an 8-day limit before they would euthanize it, when the general amount of jail time was 10 days for whoever was arrested.
Yep.
So
Jesus Christ.
essentially, literally saying, if you do this, we will kill your animals while you're in jail to punish
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
This is Canada. Probably the second freest nation on the planet.
Yeah.
In a way. America Junior.
Exactly. We're like your little brother.
Yeah, you're the little brother we forced to live in the attic.
Exactly. So,
And on that note,
please let me come down. No.
yes. So on that note, guys, welcome to the second episode, but we're calling it episode 1 because we're going to be like George Lucas here. So this is episode 1, technically speaking, of the Now You Made It Awkward podcast. Thanks to everybody who did come and listen last week. We've got a surprising amount of listeners, even though technically I listened to it twice myself.
I'm quite pleased.
And it was fairly well received from the amount of people that I did hear from. So that was good. And over here we do have Mike, the comic relief crusader, our Canadian Texan.
Yeah. Hey there, eh?
Yes. And then my fellow Texan over here with ShaunDiesel.
Howdy.
That was bad. No.
Yeah.
Just no. Just no.
I'm gonna go with it. I kind of like it.
Okay. With ShaunDiesel's Body Shop on Facebook. All these things will be linked down below. And I am, of course, SHOKY. Most of you people should know this by now because you're watching this on my channel. And I will be uploading the podcast audio form only to Podbean very shortly, so you'll be able to find it wherever it is you get podcasts and things like that in the future. If you're remotely interested in helping to support me or Mike, both of our merch stores are available in the thing down below. And Sean, on the other hand, is not taking any money from anybody right now because he said he doesn't want to fucking paint robots for a while.
The magic is gone.
He has too many fin funnels to fucking work on.
Jesus, dude. There's so many. Why?
So many.
Hasn't it brought you joy?
No. I've burned through $60 worth of scribes already. And I'm not
The
even done
dream
yet.
is over. It's time to retire.
All right, since we're already talking about it, Sean, why don't you give us your little weekend update about how your week has gone since last we talked?
It's been pretty normal, I'd say. I didn't get anything in. I've been trying to stay tight right now because I got my eyes on a few things, and I want to have the dough ready if I can.
What's that like?
And I didn't. Oh, it's fucking nerve wracking. Like I want to do things so bad.
Not spending money. What's that like? I have no clue what that's like because I just know I just know how to go in the hole in 2 days flat.
Tell us more of this. Not spending money.
Yeah, well, you think you're getting more, but you actually don't because it always goes away.
This is true.
I'm married. I'm used to that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have kids. I'm used to that as well.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Anyways, on the work front, I'm still making progress on the 4,000 fin funnels for this resin kit. I've got a lot more done on that motorcycle.
Yeah, you should be nearing the end of that, right?
Oh no. Well, I still have the front fairing to do, and then that thing breaks down into about 8 pieces, and it's damaged the worst. So I still have to fix it.
Oh, I keep forgetting you have to fix it too. I forgot it was a layover. It's not just a paint job.
Yeah.
So you're doing the body work and replacing shit too.
Yeah. But I've made progress on everything. I've got a star scream here I've been working on for months. So I think it was October's when he sent it to me, and I just work on it here and there because he's never in a hurry. But it's a DS star scream.
A what?
DS.
Oh,
deformation.
The new one that just came out.
Yeah. We're doing the shattered glass treatment on it. But
oh, nice.
I'll tell you what.
The red, white, and blue paint job.
Red, white, and black.
Well, he's got
with a blue cockpit.
Yeah. It's not like a big blue. Yeah.
Beauty.
Yeah. He basically looks like Jetfire, which was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty much. pretty much. And I'm doing some pearls, doing some solids, just try to make it look cool. Try to match what he's got going on already.
Nice.
But this figure's a piece of shit. I don't care what anyone says.
Okay.
When you take them apart and you see how they're making things work, you know why it costs this much.
Or this little, you mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
Now,
anyways,
you know what, Mike? Hold on, just real quick though. I have a gripe about that figure. Like, it looks good. It actually is a really good representation. I would say that, like, just looks wise, it is fairly on par, if not ever so slightly better than the MP. But it has that weird fucking split right above the cockpit when he's in robot mode, and it bugs the hell out of me. It's got that seam. It's got that seam line right there going to the back of the cockpit up to his head, and it bothers the fuck out of me.
Wow.
That's why I don't own it. Well, that and I don't buy MPs, but you know. All right, so continue with your story.
Oh, well, anyways, so we're working on that. We're probably 65% done with it.
Nice.
And I'm sure he's looking forward to getting it back.
Awesome.
He's got a whole list of things that he would like me to do, but I told him I need to take a break before I burn this fucking house down.
Oh, by the way, I did see you finally posted the pictures of that Turn A Gundam, the dirty Turn A that you did. I'm so proud.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of your weathering job.
Yo, man, that dude, that was like his first pictures that he took, and I thought they looked pretty good.
Yeah, it was. It was actually pretty decent looking photos.
He said he made a homemade light box, and he just used his phone, and I was like, sure, man, I'd love to see him.
That's what I do.
He sent them to me. I was like, fuck, it looks pretty good, man. I said, can I use them? He's like, absolutely.
So awesome. Shiny.
Actually, it's not. That's the thing. It isn't shiny. It's weathered. It's not heavy. It's not heavy.
Kind of quoting the
got you.
Yeah, Firefly.
Got you. Shiny.
Yeah.
But you got to use it. You got to use it a different way. You have to properly use that.
I probably should have.
Yeah. It's not exactly an adjective. It's almost like an adverb.
Yeah.
Words.
I love Firefly. I need to give it a rewatch. Anyways,
never heard of it.
What? Dude.
Seriously?
Okay, you told me. I know we're gonna get into viewing stuff, but you told me you need a new series to watch. You need to watch Firefly because it's only like 12 episodes because they only managed one season, but it's so fucking good.
And then Serenity.
Yeah. Don't be like me and watch Serenity before you watch Firefly.
Yeah, no.
I watched the end of it before I watched the actual series.
Did you really?
I did because it was on in a weird time slot. So I wasn't home to watch it. You know what Fox did. You know how bad Fox fucked over the Firefly show.
Oh, big time.
So I was not interested. They didn't market it worth the shit. And had I known what I was missing back then, I 100% would have watched it on TV and then been really confused when the DVDs came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. If you can find it streaming somewhere, it used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it still is.
I'm not sure. But
it's worth a watch. It's worth a watch for sure.
It certainly has a cult following for sure.
Yeah. It was one of the first shows to get a major motion picture after it was canceled.
Yep.
The series was canceled, but so beloved they managed to not really crowdfund, but crowd the engagement. There was enough people who said, fuck this, I want it. And 2 years after it was canceled, they made a major motion picture.
And I believe it was released by Paramount instead of Fox.
Yeah, it was Paramount.
Yeah.
Well, because Paramount bought the syndication for it.
They did, yeah, and they couldn't go under the banner of Firefly, so they kind of hid it away and called it Serenity,
which still fits. But
it does. Because,
it was a fitting end, quote unquote, to the series.
Yeah, God.
But apparently, there's some rumors here and there that keep popping up every now and then, and everybody is essentially down for it. They just got to have a good story behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely worth watching, Sean. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a space western, basically.
It is.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. That sounds like something to be right up my alley.
You will absolutely love Jane.
Yeah. God, yeah.
Jane will be your personal favorite character. I right here on this podcast, I will die on that hill. Jane will be your favorite character.
Yep. I actually met him, Adam Baldwin.
Oh, Adam Baldwin, nice.
I did. He is such a nice guy. Totally, totally nice guy. And a true patriot, I might add.
To which country?
Well, yours.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
But,
he's not proper.
on top of that.
He's not
He
proper.
He actually
Baldwin,
bashed
though, right?
Trudeau a couple of days ago too. So
Oh, really?
it was nice to see. Yeah, yeah.
Well, that he's not part of the proper Baldwin clan, right?
No, he's not. No relation.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He's not related. He's not related to the other Baldwins.
No,
he's not like a third cousin. But either way, Sean, definite high recommendation on watching Firefly.
Yes,
I'll definitely have to check it out.
Yeah,
If I can find it.
Yeah, you should be able to. It's got to be streaming somewhere. Oh God, hopefully they didn't lock it down on Paramount Plus.
I think I had that.
If you do, that's where you're gonna watch it. Either that, or I will fucking ship you the DVD collection. Actually, you might be able to find the DVD collection at Walmart for like $10,
probably,
or Blu-rays. I mean, I don't know if I'd watch it on Blu-ray, but I bet you could. Something about watching it on DVD.
Of me right there with him.
Where are you putting it?
In the general discussion.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Your hair looks less gray then.
I know, right?
And no beard. Can you?
I was so much younger.
Can you see the picture, Sean?
Oh, dude, if I go try to look at that shit, the phone will probably blow up.
Oh, it won't. You just. It's the cool thing about the voice chat; it stays going regardless.
Yeah.
But either way, you can look at it after the fact. But no, Adam Baldwin is great.
I would suggest after Firefly, okay, watch Chuck, the series Chuck. Yeah. Because he's in that as well.
Oh, Adam Baldwin, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He's like one of the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Adam Baldwin's been in a million things. But personally, I would just watch anything with Nathan Fillion instead.
Well, I mean, he was in Independence Day as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm just a big fan of Nathan Fillion. I'll watch him in anything. I have not watched him in The Rookie, but I heard he's really good.
And he's from here too.
Yes, he's from the Great White North, Canada.
Yup. From Alberta.
He's from Alberta. That's right. We're just way off base there. But did you ever, just a random question though? Did you ever watch Castle?
No.
No, I don't think I did.
Okay, so that was his
maybe a little bit here and there.
That was his long-running crime drama comedy.
Yeah.
And it was great. I loved Castle. It got weird after a while. They wanted to keep the will they won't they thing going for like way too long.
Huh.
And then they I think the writer's strike at one point kind of fucked them up a little. And then they had to wrap it up really fast. So it's like the ending was not as good as I thought it would be.
It never is.
But there's some things end very, very well. Other things, it's just like you could tell they had to rush through it, and they left you on a mystery, and then came back later and said, "Okay, here we go." They did the fade out thing, and then they're like, "Okay, how's this gonna get? Where's this gonna go in the last minute of the show?" But I think I loved all the characters on Castle. Like him as Richard Castle was fucking phenomenal. Because he was a mystery writer who teamed up with a cop because someone was committing murders based off of his books. So, like, it was a copycat killer, but they were copying fiction.
Interesting.
Yeah, and of course, if you know who Stana Katic is, she's just hot as fuck. And so she's the co-star and his he's the bane of her existence for many seasons.
Nice.
So she's the straightforward hard ass, and he's the goofy guy who can't take anything fucking seriously. So you could just see how that's gonna go. But yeah, I recommend Castle as well as a good funny watch. Sometimes boring, but like they did a good job writing the mysteries though. Like sometimes it was like, and it was an ABC drama, so it wasn't that bad. That's back when they still knew how to write characters. Yeah, that may have been when Grey's Anatomy was still a decent show. I don't know. I didn't watch it then, but I know it now. It's horrible, horrible trash.
Yeah. Hence the reason I don't watch it
Yeah.
ever.
Hey, Sean, what does Summer tend to be interested in, if you don't mind?
Like television wise?
Yeah.
Oh, the worst shit fucking imaginable. She's into that Jersey Shore housewife crap.
Oh God, she's into reality trash.
Yeah, trash
No.
TV, that's what she calls it. And she watches that 600-pound live show.
Oh, hold on, though. That show
Oh,
is
yeah.
addictive.
I don't know why are you doing this to yourself? Stop it.
I know.
Exactly. But as someone who is very fat, I look at it as at least I'm not on this show. Although there,
Oh God.
That's justifiable.
okay, but you know what's crazy though? The doctor they send everybody to is in Houston, so not too far from us. And there was a guy on last season. I think. Did you
Mhm.
ask me about this, Sean?
Yeah, because he was from close to where you are.
Yeah. He's literally from our town.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I know the guy. It's like I didn't see the episode, but I was like, I wonder if I legitimately have seen this dude because I know, and I don't really want to fat shame, but I do. I do know some incredibly overweight people, not personally directly, but that do live
Right.
around here. You see them, because you can't not. Um,
Well, yeah.
Hey, look, I believe in fat
Hard to
shaming
miss.
because I've seen it work to motivate people to get better.
Well, it does, yeah. Because, you get so humongously huge. Health issues come with it.
Yeah.
You can't deny it.
No.
It's the science.
Yeah, and since I apparently have high cholesterol now, apparently I need to do something about that.
Yeah,
But the one thing that the show seems to instill, where I know we're on a weird tangent here, but that show seems to instill is that the surgery is like the way out of everything when they realistically preach the mental aspect, the moderation aspect, the watching what you're fucking eating part of it. And then some people go into it with the mentality of, I'm just going to get surgery. I'm going to lose 300 pounds and that's going to be the end of it. And like, no, those are the people who gain 150 pounds after they initially lose 50,
Well, yeah.
because
it's the mental discipline isn't there.
yeah.
If you think a surgery is just going to solve everything, well, then you've already lost. Sure, you can get the surgery, but the mental discipline to not repeat the same mistakes is still going to be there.
Yeah, that's
You're going to lose. That's why constantly, because my wife loves this show as well, right? It's like me, I couldn't stand it, right? It's like, really, do I have to watch people just essentially, throwing their lives down the crapper because they don't have any fortitude to actually do what they need to do?
Well, because I don't think that I have to keep on talking to you because you're not doing your part to be losing the weight.
First of all, that is a spot on impersonation.
Not bad, huh? Not
That
bad.
was pretty much exactly. Now you got to dye your hair.
I don't think you're serious in order to be losing the weight all
But the thing is, he's 100% right.
But he is.
Every time. But see, that's what I was like, okay, so here's my argument just for that show. If you want people to do better, give them the tools on the show to not fall into this problem in the first place. And be like, look, if you cared about people's health, you give those diet plans out for free on the fucking show. You tell people exactly how to finagle these things properly. Yeah. It's like, so they can go, okay, I'll try that and I'll see if it works for me. Because most of the time it's just cutting calories and sticking with proteins and eliminating sugars.
Yep.
But give people that information so that they can work with it within their own budget, within their own life, within their own plan, without having to pay God knows how much money to visit a dietitian or a nutritionist or pay gym memberships.
And they won't because... people like Jillian Michaels would just be out of an industry, out of a job, right? Because if you let that, because ratings need to keep happening, because
it's not even ratings, it's just money.
Make that money.
It's
Screw
just money.
People's healths. We'll just show an operation, and then bash them why they're not losing the weight because they can't stop shoving a burger down their gullet.
Well, there's also the fact that Yes. It's also part of the fact with the show that they have to. It's almost a wildlife documentary where
Yeah.
no, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, but
There's a
in the
fucking
concept of
wildebeest everywhere.
yes, but in the concept of the cameramen can't interfere. So you have these cameramen following them around while they're on their journey, and they can't say, "Hey, put the fucking burger down." They can't
Yeah.
say, "Hey, look, I know you're about to fuck your whole situation up, but I just have to sit here and watch it." And like after all the horrible things that those cameramen have to see at the early stages of that show,
Oh,
they should 100% be like, "Put that the fuck down." The cameraman should be the fucking little angel on the shoulder instead
yeah.
of just
Yeah.
letting it happen for TV's sake.
And give them hazard pay on top of that.
Oh, they damn well better get hazard pay for some of the horrible, horrible things that they have to
Yeah.
endure. Like, God, every time I see one of those people, regardless of who they are, have to get completely naked and get on a toilet that you can no
Oh,
longer see the toilet.
like I feel for these people that have that much weight. I
Yes,
honestly do,
yes, I
because
do too.
that cannot obviously be easy. But on the other hand, I really feel for the people filming this,
Yes,
because I suspect, and the producers on top of that, because occasionally you'll hear them off camera ask, the
the
person,
last
right?
questions, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel for them as well, because you can probably kind of suspect that they really want to say something to help these people,
Yeah.
but they can't.
It's
You know,
it's the Office problem, in the one
it
of the
is.
latest seasons of The Office,
Yeah,
when one of the camera guys talks to Pam whenever she's really upset, and then he gets on camera for a second to comfort her, and then later on, whenever Pam fucks up that dude's truck, he literally runs out to stop the guy from attacking Pam. So
yeah,
that's like one of those, and that's what's so strange about that show is that we always acknowledged that it was a TV show, but
yeah,
that took it to the point where the camera crew slash production crew became involved, and that's one of those. Except that there's an emergency, I think, in these type of reality shows, they never do. You know, they'll ask
yeah.
the questions. You'll never hear them ask it. Usually, it's off camera, and then you got them answering. But like, what is the other one? The ones with anybody with a giant fucking family, anybody, any little person show,
Oh yeah, yeah.
any blank housewives of wherever. uh the amount of it's one thing. I think that's where 600 Pound Life is different, because it's trying to show improvement of people while showing the reality of the situation, and the
Yeah.
rest of these shows are all played up and manipulated for TV.
Oh, big time.
And I think that's why 600 Pound Life speaks a little bit more to other people than Outdaughtered. Like my
And
wife loves
and
that
I
show.
think the other one too, that 1,000 Pound Sisters.
Oh god damn, don't get me started on those people.
Yeah, I
Uh,
know. Sam.
well, because I don't watch it anymore. Like we did watch it, but like I've been following it vicariously through other YouTubers,
Right.
and where one literally has stuck with it, has lost weight, had
Yep.
a kid, and the other one has just gone completely fucking deep end in depression.
Oh, big time. Big
Like
time.
she's literally they're keeping the 1,000 Pound Sisters thing going because one is offsetting the weight of the other, and it's fucking upsetting.
It is.
And like
Yeah, they just got done season 3 a couple of weeks ago. So,
yeah, it's just
yeah, where she
we
could hardly
I, I
breathe.
I feel like these shows need Sean out there fucking cracking the whip.
This is, you know what?
I will
This
break
is
those
this is
people
what's
so
needed.
damn fast.
What's that, Sean?
What?
I will break those people so damn fast. I don't have time for your stupid bullshit. Either you want it or you don't.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I can't stand watching that shit either. It's just it drives me fucking nuts because it's too real. And I don't want to be entertained by real life. I want to be entertained by some make believe shit that's cool and doesn't have the normal drama and stress and wildness of real life. So I just can't stand watching that shit. She loves it.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
at least in that case, it is real. But in the other types of shows, no. What was it? There was a show that was out. It might still be out. It was basically like Real Housewives, but it was little Little Women, as it were.
Oh, yeah.
I called it the Tiny Whore Show because it's basically what it was. It's like 5 or 6 of these fuck it midgets.
Yeah.
It's not a bad word, people. It's fine. It's
It
really
is.
not. It's actually
It's
it's an
descriptive.
acceptable word.
Yeah.
Anyways, so but they are all doing the work. They're the worst fucking people. half of them are fucking around with other people. They're all dressing like fucking sluts and going out and doing shit. So
Rip
all that Real Housewives nonsense, but with
midgets.
little women or midgets.
Yeah.
And that's why like the wife watched it for a while and she was getting enthralled in it. And I'm just like, baby, you gotta stop
Uh,
watching the tiny whores do shit. It's fucking stupid. And she's like, no, it's so fun. And I think, and I'm like, you're literally
that's not.
laughing and enjoying because they're at some because they're at I think they were in Dallas. And they were at a country bar that had the fucking mechanical bull. And so
Yeah.
you literally have a woman who's 3 foot nothing up on a mechanical bull with her tiny arms and a fucking hat and being like, yeah, I'm dead sexy on the fucking mechanic. I was like, God damn it. Really? This is what life has devolved to?
It's like, no, you're a chicken
Yep.
McNugget about to be thrown to the crowd.
Yes.
God.
God damn it, Mike. God damn it.
And then somebody on 600-pound life is going to scoop you up, little fella.
Little lady.
Chewbacca.
That's little lady.
Right.
Now
Up
there was
comes Jabba the Hutt and grabs the midget
Yeah.
and eats it.
well, you know what's really strange? Like I know we're on a really odd tangent here at the moment, but we're talking about the freaks of the internet. We'll come back to that later. Um but there's Outdaughtered, which was a show about a family that ended up having I think 5 or 6 kids or 5 or 6 babies all at once. All, some are technically twins and others not, but it was all the same womb. And
Oh, wow.
they're local here, to Houston area, right? And so the show was following them for quite some time. Hurricane Harvey fucked up their house, all kinds of stuff like that. Some of them have mild developmental issues, nothing like that, but like health problems and vision and stuff like that. Because when you have
Right.
a litter of fucking children, every now and then the genes don't land exactly perfectly. Oops, I knocked shit over. But they ended up the show itself. I don't think it technically got canceled, but I think they just reached a point where the production wasn't worth going through during COVID. I know they were trying, and then they were making up the difference on YouTube. Like they ended up starting a vlog channel, basically doing the same fucking thing, but on YouTube
Huh.
in the interim. And like the wife watched that religiously, like was super involved in everything that was going on with the kids. Like she had her favorites of the kids. And I just look at them like these kids have literally grown up with cameras in their fucking faces. They've literally grown up with this fucking production crew. Like it's
Yeah.
part of their family. It's like what's gonna happen when the show actually ends and this camera crew has to move on to whatever other fucking show.
You end up getting Kate plus 8.
Yeah, that's a whole different problem. I think those kids
Yeah.
have turned out somewhat normal, but what happened to them as a
You'll end
family
up
was
one
fucked.
of them with such an overinflated ego that they're gonna have to try desperately to keep themselves relevant, but nobody will care.
Hell, they both did.
Well,
Yeah, because John had a ridiculous ego there after they got divorced. But then Kate just kept at the reality TV bullshit.
yeah,
Like there was Date Kate or whatever the fuck it was.
yeah, no.
Now the kids are all growing up, but mommy's still fucking horny. Let's see what else we can make happen, In the meantime, John has just said, fuck you, I don't want to be on TV anymore. I just want to be a normal person again.
Yep.
But
I don't blame 'em.
but the other thing is I was trying to roll into another point that there was a separate reality TV show also going on that was about little people. I think it was called Little People Big World.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And that one was also somewhat based here, but then they moved, I think right after Harvey or right before Harvey, I can't remember.
Something.
And they had, what was that one? They adopted a couple kids and they had one naturally. So, they had that's a decent show. And then like when they moved, they actually got to design their new house, so they got to make it more little people friendly and stuff like that. So that show wasn't terrible. And like when they were having to come up with the bullshit for like the family to do and stuff like that, like, oh, let's go do these things, all that kind of
It's like,
stupid bullshit.
yay.
Yeah,
Real
that I
life.
don't like. But oh wait, no. Okay, hold on. I'm getting two shows confused because there's too many of them. Oh, there's the I think it's called Seven Little Johnsons or Johnstons, which is another similar show.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not interested at this point.
Yeah, there's so
No.
many. It's like if you're a little person, incredibly overweight, or just a fucking whore of a housewife, you can have a TV show and it's not a problem. And if you literally can do all of the above, if you can be a 250-pound midget slut,
Yeah.
you will
Yeah.
be queen of the fucking internet.
Today, people, on TLC, we're going to be looking for amazing treats that we can broadcast on TV to try to keep ourselves relevant as a network production.
So here's what this show would be. So
That's
you
what it's
you will
gonna
have you will have this person of color midget who weighs 250 pounds who's trying to date a guy who's 7'1" and weighs 180 pounds. And
So
then
the mechanical bull all over
all
again.
of the hijinks therein.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna cheat on him with a normal sized guy who accepts her for how he is, and then he's just gonna go off and be like, I don't know why she treats me like this. I love her so much, and be like, Jesus fucking Christ, why?
Because you're a bitch, that's why. Move
Did
on.
I hold on? Did I not just spell out exactly what TLC would have and do?
Pretty much.
TLC, this was not an actual concept for a show. Please don't do this. People will watch it, but please don't do it. But if they do, send me all royalty for this, because I fucking
There you
came
go.
up with it. All right,
Watch, rinse, and repeat.
so let's go back to Sean's week. Did you have anything else that's been going down?
Dude, I don't know what just happened, but no.
Next. Well, you did watch a show at least.
Yeah, I finished
watched-
Peacemaker.
Yeah, we're gonna discuss Peacemaker here in a bit because you caught up and finished, right, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll discuss that after we get there. So go ahead. When we get to mine, we'll go ahead and discuss Peacemaker. So Mike, go ahead. How was your past week?
My past week was riveting as I pretty much wanted to see what was going to be happening in Ottawa because now we live in a communist state under Trudeau. Yeah, other than that, not a whole heck of a lot. Just going over a few things that I am selling. Trying to keep relevant and trying to keep that particular lady that you know about this particular website that I was designing and whatnot.
Yes.
Trying to explain to her why I set up her e-commerce on her site. And trying to explain to her why PayPal is still relevant. Yeah, because apparently
80% of the internet, because 80% of the internet still uses it.
Yeah, because she was trying to explain to me how PayPal isn't relevant anymore, and she surveyed like a lot of people, and nobody uses PayPal anymore. It's like, lady, over what 400 million people on the globe, if not more, use PayPal.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
And why wouldn't you want PayPal for at least the protection side of it?
Well, yeah, exactly, right. So, yeah, trying to tell her that, well, okay, if you want it also for credit card payments, which PayPal does anyway.
Yep.
That's going to be an extra charge.
Because why would you have a whole separate credit card processing system if you don't need it? If you can just use a third-party system like PayPal or Cash App or any, well, I mean, I'm just using that as an example, but like, you know, and then some of those other ones are just not nearly as secure. So why fucking use that for proper websites? Just use PayPal.
Yeah.
I paid for our pizza Friday night with PayPal. Like
there you go.
Domino's now takes PayPal.
Yeah.
Dumbass lady. They whoever you are. Lady who has a fucking ugly website. 1, you have no taste. 2, fucking go with PayPal. Dumbass. If you want to supplement to PayPal, fine. But use fucking PayPal as your main processing thing. And if somebody doesn't have a PayPal, it's fucking easy to sign up for it. If they want to use a credit card and you want to be responsible for having a direct fucking credit card app on your fucking thing, fine.
I know. So, you know, so she's trying to explain
to me, business guy.
These people that couldn't pay through their credit card because they don't have PayPal had to come to my store and buy the item. It's like, but that's what you want. You do actually want people to come to your store, right? If they're not coming to your store, what's the point of opening a store? So the logic, it just totally escapes me. The stupid, it burns. So
Yes, the stupid it burns.
it yeah, I can't. I just honestly can't. So, and
But money.
God, I'm not trying to be insulting towards clients that I have. I really honestly don't. It's just that, there comes a point where you're just really so frustrated with people that try to tell you how to do your job when you already know how to do it. And I'm
Yep.
sure Sean can relate up the nines with this. Yeah, you just get super frustrated, and especially when you have to explain it, but they still insist that you don't know, even though you've been doing this for 10, 20 years. So yeah.
I don't want to sound.
Other than that, a good week.
I don't want to sound that way, but it's also a woman.
Well, yeah. So
I don't.
I try to be forgiving in that
Something
area
dumb.
because there
I-
are
I-
intelligent women out there,
There are very intelligent women out there.
just like
Yeah,
there
all
are
two of
really
them.
stupid guys out
and-
there.
and
our Prime Minister.
some of them have common sense,
Some of them do.
but occasionally you get into a knockdown drag out fight about where and what shelves you should get.
Like I like to say, common sense isn't common anymore.
No, that's not true.
No. So
I misspoke there. That's what
Yeah.
happens. I've been drinking.
I forgive you.
Correction. I haven't. Well, I've currently been drinking. I'm drinking a prairie beer tonight as we record.
Ooh.
It's actually a rainbow sherbet flavored beer.
Fucking gross.
Wow.
Well, it's
That sounds like unicorn piss.
well, it's better than that in my opinion. But it is heartburn in a can because it is a sour beer in the first place.
it's like liquid Lucky Charms, it sounds like.
No, I've had that beer.
You're always after me, Lucky Charms.
Okay. Well, look, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, but I enjoy it.
God,
Well,
it's-
if you
I'm
like
happy
it,
for you.
you win.
Yes, it is very colorful though. I'll take a picture of the can. Like it's got some really cool art on it. Like one thing about Prairie is they're really cool about their bottle and can designs.
Nice.
It's simplistic art, but fairly cool, and very
Oh.
nice use of colors. And utilizing the chrome aspect of the can as a backing to most of the things.
Ooh.
Since
sounds good.
for the most part, the industry now uses can wraps, so it's actually like a kind of like a shrink wrap label. And so cans are
Yeah.
just blank now instead of just having to print and cut all the cans like you would for Coke or anything like that. But a lot of beer, breweries and stuff like that, so beer companies still applies, but they'll use shrink wrap technology kind of like that because it's easier. And then you can have things that are clear, and then it shows through as chrome. It looks pretty cool. It's neat.
see.
It's neat, goddammit.
That is neat.
Got anything else for the week, Mike?
Let me see here.
You teased something. I thought you teased an image.
Did I tease? What did I tease?
It looked to be a scale chart of some sort.
Oh, it did. Yes. Thanks to a few people that have sent images my way. Apparently, I might do a GoBot scale chart.
Okay, you did talk about that, but this was it was a really low res one that looked like it was like the like planet bots and stuff like that. I thought I saw that somewhere.
Oh, that was from the Transformer the movie scale chart, planetary scale chart.
Oh, okay. That's why that one thing that looked like a gelatinous blob, that was like one of those. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering what that was because I saw Unicron on there. I definitely saw Cybertron on there.
Yep.
But I couldn't tell what everything else was because it's all low res.
That would be Quintessa and Earth and
okay.
Junkion and let's see, there was something else. Oh yeah, and the two moons of Quintessa. So yeah,
Nice.
that's just I thought I'd just switch up the little banner on my Facebook thing, and I'm mostly known for doing those scale charts, and I did a planetary chart, so yeah, just throw it up there, right?
Okay. I saw that. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
But the GoBots one I'm interested in just because I want to see that. It's science.
Exactly. It's the science.
Science.
Fucking Gobatrons.
Gobatron.
Gobatron. Yeah.
Is that one of them there GoBots? No, that's a Voltron.
To me, it always looked like a eaten out apple core.
I
Gobatron.
thought you were going somewhere else with that for a minute.
Yeah.
Sounds like my early 20s.
Sean could tie an apple core with his tongue.
Keep those skills up.
Well, he lives in a small town in the middle of nowhere. You got to develop skills.
You must differentiate yourself from
He
others.
could pick all the seeds out of an apple core with just his tongue.
Oh my.
Yes, George.
Oh boy.
My.
Oh my.
All right. And you, of course, watch Peacemaker, as we just discussed. Did you watch anything else this week?
Just a lot of Third Rock from the Sun. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna enjoy watching a old comedy show. Well, like from 30 years ago, I guess. Yeah.
Late 90s into early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Like
And
7
and my daughter and I, she is enjoying watching Steve Irwin on Discovery Plus.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah, she's really loving it because I've told her the tales of Steve Irwin and how much the whole world loved him.
Yeah.
And she's quite enjoying it. So
we need to get an Aussie on here one day. That'd be interesting.
That's right.
Talk about their communist state. But I was just thinking, what's it like looking at little baby Gordon Joseph Levitt again? Isn't that weird?
I know, right? So we're at the point of at the end of season 3 when the big giant head ends up showing up, which is William Shatner.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah. It's just
the second
hilarious.
The second best character I think on that show.
Yeah. Next to John Cleese.
Yes.
When he showed up twice, that was actually quite fun. So
like when he comes in person, it's one thing because his ego is absurd.
Oh
but
yeah.
It's also very Shatner. He played so hard into that role. But
and you know what? And when you look back on it now, like he mentions so many Easter eggs of so many things he's done in his entire career, like even before Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like when he lands at the airport, what was it? He said something like, I looked out the window and I could have swore I saw something.
Yes, the plane.
Wing.
Yes, the wing.
Right?
Yes, the Twilight Zone.
And then my I look at my wife. It's like, you realize that's an Easter egg. She's like, what? It's like, well, yeah, back way back when before Star Trek, in the Twilight Zone, he plays. It was like one of his first roles. He plays this person that's on the plane, and he sees a gremlin, just basically tearing up the whole wing, right?
Yeah.
So and freaking out, and
a terrible version of a gremlin, by the way.
Yeah,
looked more like a wolf man.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that shit, Sean? Do you even know what he's talking about?
Third Rock from the Sun?
Well, I mean this Twilight Zone episode.
Oh, fuck me.
With the thing on the wing.
No.
But you probably The Simpsons did it.
Yeah.
Third Rock from the Sun did it. I think even Seinfeld referenced it for fun.
Yeah.
There's a couple other shows that did it.
It's classic trope.
It's a classic trope at this point because it's like it was destroying the wing and nobody believed him, and then when they land, the fucking engine falls off.
Yeah.
Or he was just insane, just depending. But yeah, but I loved it whenever he came through. What is it, Harry? Whenever because he was the radio, and he's like, and he's like, and then he'd tell him whatever orders.
Message from the big giant head.
Yes, and then he would do like the promo kind of at the end,
Yeah.
Just remember, whatever, for all your head needs, remember the big giant head. Or your giant head needs, remember the big giant head.
For all your giant head needs, contact the big giant head.
Yeah, I love that. Like, that was one of the best character studies.
Yeah.
Long term. Because these people literally came to Earth as aliens. And then by the time they left, they were definitely human.
Oh, yeah, totally. Totally.
and
You
their
know?
relationships with other people, depending on how fucked up it was. Like Tommy with his couple of girlfriends.
Oh, it
Uh,
was awesome.
what was it? August was the one he really fucked up.
Yep.
His first girlfriend, but the one after that,
Yeah.
she went on to be somebody more famous.
Strudwick's daughter,
Yes, that's right.
the other professor.
Yeah,
Yeah, his
yeah, she
daughter.
was
Yeah,
hot.
was
She's still hot. Um, and then like I think a lot of famous people came through that show over the
I mean,
time.
Jan Hooks, the comedian from Saturday Night Live,
Of course.
that played Harry's girlfriend.
Yes.
And
That's right.
what was another one? What's his name? The one that got killed by his wife, the other comedian there. He used to play, like Troy McClure and Lud
Oh
Lawyer.
shit.
Um, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, why can't I think of his name? Not Dan. Shit, because he was obviously a staple in The Simpsons.
Yeah,
God damn, what was his name? What somebody
yeah.
should Google such things.
He was there a few times.
Yeah, a lot of comedians rolled through there just in general.
Oh yeah.
It, it,
So
it was just that was a great show. I won't even say it's underrated, but much like your daughter, nobody nowadays will fucking know. Like
no,
it ended 20 or about 20 years ago, right?
yeah, early 2000s.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
and
thinking about it, it's like, yeah, boy, time flies.
yeah, I think they wanted to do a reboot of it at some point. It's like, no, you leave that the fuck alone because you're
Yeah,
gonna fuck it up.
exactly.
You're either gonna Disney Channel it or you're gonna wokeify it. Either way, it's not gonna be as good. Even though Disney Channel's done plenty of similar things in the past,
Yeah,
just depending.
precisely, right?
But yeah, no, damn, I feel like I need to revisit that. I think I'm about due for a rewatch of Lost. I think it's been long enough that I need
You know
to.
what? I have honestly not watched Lost.
What?
Me either.
I'm
What?
serious.
What the? Okay, both of you now have homework assignments.
I know.
Sean, once again, you needed a show to watch. Lost is a good show, but it is the third season is hard to get through. Third and fourth season are hard to get through, and then five gets weird, and then six gets good again. It's not
Yeah.
bad. It's just odd. But the overall story of the show, I fucking will always tell everyone. I used to literally rewatch it every 5 years when it was still available on Netflix. Like
Huh.
I had to have a 5 year gap to like just forget certain things, and then I would come back and rewatch Lost. And it's been probably 7 years since I watched it last, and it's no longer
Oh
on
wow.
Netflix, so I have to find it elsewhere. It went to Hulu for a while. I don't know where it's at now.
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman, yes.
Phil
That's
Hartman.
right.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
man, God, I miss him. Jeez.
Yes. Phil
But
Hartman
yeah,
was
you had
fucking
like
great.
Mark Hamill. You had
That's right.
Bryan Cranston actually made a show as well.
Huh? Oh, you mean he popped in? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he's been on several shows. I was like, oh, you mean he stopped by? But that's when he was a nobody.
Yeah, exactly right. I had to do actually a double take. It's like, oh my God, is that who I think it is? And yeah, for sure, he showed up.
And that would have been pre Malcolm in the Middle days.
Yeah, it was totally.
There's
So,
another show that's probably underrated because people thought wrong about it.
yeah.
That show ended great, I think.
But you know what? The interesting thing is the one that played Leon in the class, like, in
Yes.
Professor Solomon's class, that's actually his son.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I loved it when Leon actually said smart things or got an answer right. He was so fucking blown away. And then the next
Like,
thing
oh
he
my
said is so
God.
goddamn stupid that he's like, there you go.
But
Yeah.
so I'm watching all of that, and and Steve Irwin
Yeah.
with my daughter. So
Old school.
yeah, some
Nice.
old school stuff. That's
When
TV was actually worth watching.
giving the younger generation some good TV. Like,
Exactly.
you know what Disney Plus needs to do if they have access to it all of the TGIF stuff
Right.
from the 90s,
Yeah.
but it needs to be released in the blocks that it aired in.
Yeah.
So by season, whenever, because it changed over time, almost like the Disney afternoon, so you got a different show in a different time slot.
Yeah.
Like, so, but because then you might miss the Full House Urkel crossover, or not Full House, the Step by Step Urkel crossover.
Yeah, yeah,
When he invented his jetpack and ended up flying to the Step by Step house.
exactly.
Like, if you're not watching Step by Step, you don't understand what happened, and he just disappears and it comes back later. And Step by
That's
Step
right.
was a decent show, you
Yeah,
know, for all it was,
and
back when
oh
people
yeah.
had values.
Also, interesting fact: the one that played Sally actually dated Ryan Reynolds.
No shit.
Yeah, yeah.
What's her
Oh,
name?
but
Was it
I'm
Kristen something?
slowly also rewatching Alf.
Oh, God damn it.
I know that sounds so cheesy in a way, but you know what? I really actually liked it as a kid, and
Oh, I
then
did
I
too.
remembered there was actually an Alf movie that kind of ended the whole thing.
That I was unaware of.
Yeah, there's an Alf movie. So after the series, because it only lasted 4 seasons,
Yeah.
so for the longest time, nobody knew if Alf actually made it back to,
Melmac.
with his friends or whatever. And there was actually an Alf movie that was released. It was like, totally small time, but if you go searching out there in the ether, in the interwebs, there you can actually find it. So he does get caught by the military. I will tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, I remember there was such a big, like, they finally built a ship for him to fly home in,
Yeah.
and he was ready to go. And I remember a helicopter, like, fucking trying to stop him and shit. And I
Yep.
couldn't remember if he actually left or he launched the ship and then stayed as a fake out, like to get the military to leave. I feel like there was a fake out where he stayed, but I don't think that was a finale. That might have been another part.
It could have been.
But
Trying to remember.
that's where I remember Alf kind of ending
Yeah.
in my own mind, because I watched
I'm
it
gonna
in
have to.
syndication.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it till the end because I don't remember how it ended as a kid. So
All I know is that the episode that scared me the most was the fucking spider episode.
I don't remember that one.
You don't. Holy shit, dude! Like, whatever experiment they did, fucking uh nuked a fucking spider in the basement, and
Oh,
then
nice.
it just kept getting bigger and bigger.
Hmm.
And everybody was gone, so Alf and the cat were the only ones there to fucking deal with this giant goddamn spider coming through the house. Now, as a kid, of course, this would terrify me, but now
Well,
it
yeah,
just looks ridiculous. Because all you see is the legs. Like, you never really see the whole thing. Like, they just have the legs, like, creepily, like, going over the couch. Like, you see webs happen and shit like that. They
yeah.
never show the whole fucking spider. But it was just trying to play up the horror aspect. Like, you don't show the fucking monster. You show evidence of the monster and the fear of everyone else, right?
Yeah. No, I
God damn,
remember
fucking.
it was a big thing. I mean, it had its own cartoon. It had its
I
own
watched the
Marvel
cartoon.
Comics run, and
I got,
yeah.
hold on, little known fact. I got, oh, do I still have them? I believe I have Alf comics from my mother-in-law.
Oh wow,
She collected them, and then she gave me her comic book collection along with her uh, baseball card collection.
sweet.
Yeah, except those were not kept well. They were just kept in a box. They're all yellowed as fuck. But
Yeah.
the Alf comics, I might have sold them. I don't remember. Or is that or in a box somewhere with all the other shit? Who
Right.
knows?
But yeah, that was my week down memory lane. So
Nice.
there we go.
Nice. Okay, so I guess it's time for me to go. No pee break this week. If we need a pee break, we just need to announce it.
There we go.
So picking up from last week, obviously watched Peacemaker. We'll talk about that here in a minute because we didn't really get into Peacemaker as a series. Now it's over. We can talk about it.
There we go.
I was wrong on my prediction. I was wrong about my prediction with what was going to happen with the cow.
Gasp.
Gasp. Though I still could have seen it going that way, the way they alluded to it realistically. But also we watched. So I did. I think it was. I was editing. I was editing shit the other night, and when I came back out, the wife had been watching a Netflix documentary called Athlete A, and it was all about the Larry Nassar
Oh yeah.
scandal. If you guys are aware about that.
Right.
That was the guy who basically he was the doctor for USA Gymnastics for like fucking 15 years, and he was sexually assaulting gymnasts and other athletes for a decade, and somebody finally fucking came out. And then it goes over the controversy of nobody wanting to believe the initial reports. So the first girl who came out, she only came out as athlete A in the lawsuit, and then another one actually came out, named herself properly, and then found herself being blacklisted from everything. So
Wow.
out of everyone who tried out for the gymnastics, she literally finished right in the middle for tryouts, and they sent everyone but her.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then once the investigation really started getting rolling,
Yeah.
holy shit, God, when they started talking about what he was actually doing to them. And you got to think these are girls anywhere from, 12 to 17, the prime
Dear God.
gymnastics years. And they were talking about, for the more sensitive viewers, if you want to turn off for a few minutes, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I,
Yeah.
I do want to mention this is going to be a little graphic. Basically, what this one girl was talking about, so she comes in for just a normal physical exam, like she's got a problem with her knee or some shit, right?
Mm.
And does a full body examination, including feeling up her breast, which he didn't need to do, including going under her shirt to check. Then he started checking out her leg, and while he's messing with her knee with one hand, actually checking that out, he
Yeah.
uses his other hand to check out her lady parts instead.
Oh boy.
And then on another visit, after doing that again, he also decided to go around the back door, as it were,
Oh.
for no apparent reason. There was no reason to, absolutely no reason for an exam to be involved with her
Posterior.
posterior, let alone a vaginal exam when she's there for a knee injury.
Dear Lord.
And some of these things were on record and some of them were not. And this particular girl, I can't remember her name, unfortunately, but she's like the number one in this fucking whole thing. She's the one who got everyone else to finally come out and find the courage to do this. She kept detailed records once it began.
Wow.
So for years, she kept journals of this shit. And when she fucking brought it out to her parents' attention and then to other people's attention, they were completely shocked. Because he seemed so normal, he seemed so nice. And then once they really started digging into it, he sexually assaulted in one shape or form something like they don't know the exact number, I don't think, but somewhere in like 400 girls.
Oh my God.
And when it came to the
God.
when it came to the actual trial, 120, either 120 or 130 actually got up there. So he made a plea deal, right? He's like, look, I'm going to go to prison. He ended up getting a stacked sentence of like 120 years. And they didn't even calculate everything for every single individual rape case. So he just took what he could,
Yeah.
And they made a deal. They said, we'll take that deal, but we're going to give our victim statements. So over 120 of them came up and gave detailed victim statements in court in front of everyone, including the news, including him, made him fucking sit there while they fucking told their stories.
Oh, I hope he felt so comfortable.
I remember something about it where like once he got to prison, he talked about how it had fucked him up so bad. Like he was going for sympathy about having to sit there and listen to all his victims do all this. It's like, motherfucker, you're lucky we didn't chemically castrate you and hang you in the fucking yard as an example.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, man. Sometimes go ahead.
I'd be like, spending 2 cents, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes a bullet doesn't say "fuck you" loud enough. You know what I mean?
And the fact that he's getting life in prison essentially, I'm like, I'm sorry, why are we storing this person?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Make an example of him. Is like, if nothing else, take away his ability. Do you remember in Sin City? Uh, in Sin City when they talked about the yellow man, the stinky yellow man who had raped and killed Bruce Willis's wife, I believe it was. He
Yeah.
said he said first I took away his gun, and then I took away his weapon. He rips his cock and balls off.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like that's what they should have done to this guy. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
it's like
Why not?
leave him enough to function, but that's it. Remove his ability to ever hurt somebody this way again.
Yeah.
It's like he's a waste of fucking space. And the
Big
thing
time.
is, the lawsuit continued on with USA Gymnastics, who covered it all up. They knew what was going on. The head of USA Gymnastics, the head of Caroli's gym, which was like the one who does all the shit and is actually local to here. So the gym was shut down. That lady, I don't know exactly where USA Gymnastics ended up settling for $420 million.
Wow.
They wanted 500. They settled on 420 some odd $1 million. So that should have bankrupted them, which I believe it did if I read that correctly. But like it's just like holy shit, man. Like this went on for like a decade or more and they knew
Yeah.
what was going on, but because they were still winning golds. Talk about greed.
Oh, big time.
Winning gold, getting however much money from sponsorships, using these girls as whatever it is they needed to use them for,
Yeah.
back in the, was it 96 when we had like the Magnificent Seven, the dream team of fucking female gymnastics with like Carrie Strug and stuff like that.
Right.
That was one of the things. It was one of the girls there was the one who came out. And then after some of them really started this lawsuit, other ones later came out after the fact who had stayed silent. They said, no, he did it to me too. It's like, why the fuck didn't you say something? And we're talking about all the way up until I think 2016 this was going on.
Right.
So from the 90s to 2016. And here's the thing, while they were trying to charge him, or they knew that he had done stuff, he went 12. No, I'm sorry. So between the amount of time that they filed the lawsuit against it and were going through everything, I think they said they allowed him to continue for like another 16 months, knowing exactly what he was doing and didn't
Ugh.
stop him. Didn't arrest him, didn't do anything, wouldn't bring charges against him directly. It was fucking insane. I'm like, this was like the whole Epstein thing. He literally had his own personal
Yeah.
sex dungeon. And hold
Yeah.
on, that is true. He had a home office in his basement, much like one Dr. Huxtable.
Wow.
So he actually had, and here's the sick part, half of his sentence was for child pornography because he filmed some of the stuff he did.
Oh boy.
And of course, here's how they got him. They went to go investigate his house, and they just happened to check his trash, and he had thrown out 4 hard drives worth of fucking recordings, and the
Shit.
trash hadn't been picked up yet. So he knew they were coming and decided to fucking empty out his fucking computers.
You know what? This is what really gets me. Okay, with what's happening here in Canada,
Yeah.
and stuff like this, right? They can find out who donated what for protesters, right? Innocent, law-abiding protesters, right?
Yep.
And they can shut down everybody's account and find out exactly who these people are. But people like this, like,
Get to live in secret and function.
nothing immediately is done about it,
No,
right?
because
that's
it's
what
too
ticks
much
me
money to leave it alone.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
This is what pisses me off.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
as somebody who was a stepdad to a young girl for a while,
Yeah.
like if I had found out, things would have happened. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And you guys probably know as well. I mean, you got it. You got your daughter, Mike.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, and then Sean Summer has kids, right?
She has 2 daughters.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and you're filling in kind of a fatherly role now.
Uh-huh.
I mean, could you even fucking imagine if they came home one day after months of this happening and told you that? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's gonna hurt. He's gonna hurt real bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, strangely enough, apparently there were there were no fatherly assaults, as it were. But that was one thing that just got to me. I'm like watching that. I mean, I knew about the story and I'd known about some of the things that happened, but hearing the real details behind it was nuts. Um, okay, so just moving on from that, she also was
Right.
watching the one of the Aaron Hernandez uh documentaries.
Huh.
So they did a docu-series on Aaron Hernandez. She started watching that yesterday, but I didn't get to watch much of it. We ended up having to go down to Houston to do some running around. I had to sell some figures, and then we went to IKEA to pick up some new billies to
Nice.
redo the living room, adding a library area, as it were, and adding some more display space, and then giving myself a much larger billy in here to replace the one that got taken to the living room. So,
Lovely.
yay me! But it also, we had a major fight yesterday about it. I won't go into the details, but it was a really, really big fucking fight.
Yeah.
Because apparently she's been holding on to some stuff that she didn't feel like making known. And it wasn't until we went to bed last night that we actually dealt with it. So yesterday was a particularly rough day. Um, but you know, that's being in a marriage. You got to deal with
Yep.
shit. And I acknowledge my faults in it as well. But I also acknowledge that I clearly hadn't shared my own feelings regarding things as clearly as I should have. So we were both at fault and we talked it through. And today was was a much better day. But going back to other things, so I received a few things in the mail this week, including the Eagle Moss XL Enterprise A that I have been waiting 3 months for.
Ooh.
I purchased in November, and I had to message them twice to finally get it, because apparently they've had issues due to COVID, and now they're changing warehouses. So I got my Enterprise A, so now I have virtually all of the versions of Enterprise all the way up to E, because
Sweet.
I don't really acknowledge after that. The F is okay, but I have no experience with the F, so I don't really bother with that. I don't have the Enterprise D from the finale of fucking The Next Generation.
Oh yeah.
I could get that one, I just don't. Either way. But the other thing is I got more Ecto 1 parts, both last week and this week, because they started doubling up on orders while they're in transit of these warehouses. So because they know there's going to be delay at some point, half the people are getting their shit doubled up now, and the other people are delayed, and the other half will get their stuff later while we're delayed.
Awesome.
So no, it's not, because they're double charging because they have to.
Oh
So I
crap.
get two shipments in 1 month instead of one, but I get my Ecto 1 parts. So that's good.
Yeah.
Except,
That's bad.
and I don't remember if I mentioned this last week, but I got my Ecto 1 parts, which were the inner workings of the back door, and I think that was it. And the rear fender, because you guys know it's an old Cadillac hearse. So
Yeah.
they got one of the rear fenders. Except they didn't send the instructions.
Crap.
Which has happened before, but instead of sending the instructions, they sent me a part that came months ago.
Oh, lovely.
So I feel like somebody else was supposed to get that part and they fucked up. So now I
Wow.
have an extra Cadillac exhaust system,
Well,
for no reason.
no, just keep it up just in case.
Yeah,
One day.
just in case I break my exhaust off and I need it, right?
Exactly.
So I got and I messaged them about it, and they said, sorry about that. We'll send it out as soon as we can. And I got a shipping notification from them, and I thought it was just for that,
Huh.
And it comes today, FedEx says, hey, I left something at your fucking door. Except the other day they didn't. They left it downstairs. Oh yeah, that was the other stuff I got this week too. I'll talk about that. But I open up the box and I'm like, what? Oh, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. They charged me for the next one already. So I open it up, and here's the next bit of stuff, and it's the other fender plus it's got the big Cadillac tail fins, It's got all that
Ooh.
kind of shit, so it's really starting to shape up as a car. But then it also came with another passenger door that was already
Oh,
partially complete. And I remember an email from months ago that said there was an issue with this particular month release, that something was wrong in the mold, like it should have been mirrored and it wasn't.
right.
And they said they would fix that for future shipments, and for anybody who already got it, they would send out the thing. So I think that door was meant to be a fix for something, but I have no clue what it is. I don't know if there's any instructions. But here's the thing. They actually did the smart thing and sent my missing instructions with this box.
Oh, that's
So
not too bad then.
yeah, so somebody in the shipping department went, "Look, we already got to send this. This guy's getting a box this week anyways. Throw it in the box." So I got my missing instructions with the new stuff, and it was not missing the instructions for the new set, so that's good. And they finally sent me the third binder. So they send you along a collectible binder to keep all your instructions with, because every set of instructions is also a magazine about something about Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it's collectible in its own right, and the second one was already on the verge of being full. So they did send the third one. I was like, sweet.
Huh.
Except now I don't have a shelf to put them on, because I just put the first two on the shelf in there, and now the shelf is full. So it's
That
like,
is pretty cool.
now I have to find another thing to do. What else did I get this week? Oh, I got my final Devastator parts for the New Age Devastator.
Oh yeah.
I shot an out the box for the members that I don't have. Um, I shoot all this content in hopes that somebody will eventually pay to see it. And I showed Sean the pictures of Devi, all nice and done,
Nice.
along with the other thing I ordered, which was a tiny robot bulldog, which is
Oh,
surprisingly cool. Actually, I can share that in the group real quick here so you can see. Let's see. Oh, scrolly. There you go. Check that out, Mike.
oh, nice.
Yeah, he's a cute little guy. Too much for what it is, if I'm honest. Cost wise, it's not very big.
So like, do stuff?
No,
Oh, just yeah. Okay.
its legs move.
That's about it.
That's it.
Okay.
It's really nicely painted. The details are good on it and stuff like that. There'll be a quick review of it.
It does look pretty neat.
Yeah, it's really cute. They had two different ones. They had like a green one and a red one, and because I'm me, I go for the red one.
Nice.
If they had one that was blue, because it has racing stripes on it, I would have got it. If it was the proper like Daytona blue,
Which is kind of funny because bulldogs aren't exactly a fast kind of dog.
No, but this thing is meant to be like a mechanical like robot. Like where his tail should be is actually two twin exhaust pipes.
Ah, okay.
So it's meant, that's why he's got racing stripes. But
Ah,
like they did the red one, I guess it's meant to be like more Ferrari-esque, and then they have the green one that I guess is meant to be something more English.
huh,
And then if they do a blue one, I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna call it Daytona, because it's just, or Shelby.
there you go.
It's gonna be like my Shelby Daytona or Viper, either way, because of the Viper RT10 had those white stripes.
Nice.
So it's just a cool little figure in my opinion. I did get, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I picked up some Lego tracks for my train bots.
Oh yeah.
So I shot those reviews. I got those reviews shot and edited. That was not trivial. It was a pain in the butt because I had to shoot it differently the second time around, because I realized I had transformed it in the wrong order.
Oh.
So normally I do a reverse transformation video, much like MGO does.
Oh yeah.
And normally that's from robot to alt mode, right?
Right.
And normally I would shoot that first so that I start in alt mode. Except I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. I started in robot mode, shot the whole thing up until the end, essentially, and then I was going to shoot the reverse transformation to bot mode from alt mode, and I realized, wait, that doesn't work with my concept of transform and roll out. Because it's like, obviously, it's like can't roll away if it's transforming into its robot mode. So I actually had to film a new section of me transforming it reverse,
Right.
and then fake like I forgot to intro it properly and chopped it up in a different order to make it cohesive to the way I normally do my fucking reviews.
Oh, okay.
So that wasn't, but at least the second one I had only shot the first, like, going over the robot part. So
Right.
I hadn't filmed any transformation yet. So, like, it was actually much easier because then I could film that properly. I took double the work to do it. So,
Oh, you know what? That does remind me. There was something else I did this week too.
oh,
Yeah, I recorded some lines for the Lazy Eyebrow Reviewer. He was doing his multiple review on like Siege and Kingdom and whatever Ultra Magnus.
oh, that's
So
right. You said you were going to do that, but you actually did record
yeah,
the lines.
that's right. You know what? And I actually forgot about that. That was kind of fun.
That's cool.
That
That's
is
really
rather
cool.
cool. So yeah, it's
Voiceovers
a
are fun.
Simpsons reference. So
Oh, nice.
you'll have to check it out. So
Okay, we'll have to check out the
yeah.
Lazy Eyebrow Reviewer whenever he drops that. Oh, I did
Plus, I'm
get.
anxiously awaiting my Black Zarek. It still hasn't even come yet, and everybody else is getting theirs.
Yeah, that would be a pain in the ass if you.
God, I want it so bad.
I want it. I want this Black Zarek.
I am needing to have it,
Yeah.
and I am needing it now.
I did buy a new model kit. As if I don't have enough in my backlog already.
No.
It's from the Bandai's 30-minute Sisters line. So that's a spinoff of their 30-minute missions, which is a very simplified version and their kind of version of frame arms. So a very basic frame, and then you can buy customizing kits to just slap whatever armor and weapons on it you want. But they jumped in on like the Megami devices or Frame Arms Girls lane by creating that, but with girls. So they it's like a somewhat robotic girl. They've got a normal head, hands, and legs and stuff, but mostly armor from robots, and you can just anything from a normal 30-minute missions kit can fit on them. So it's pretty cool, and I have a few of those laying around, so I can scrounge for parts.
That's pretty cool.
But it's just interesting, and I like this one because it's orange and black. I like the color scheme, and I bought her particular add-on parts set, which gives her like cat claws and little cat ears that all literally just add on to the shit that she already came with. So it's like super well thought out. So hopefully I'll build that sometime soon. I do need to get back to building now that I'm almost caught up on reviewing stuff. I want to get back to building. I know my Gunpla people have just basically vacated the channel because I haven't been building anything for a while. Except for like Power Rangers or Flame Toys kits. So I did get another Power Rangers kit, the next Megazord in the Gal Ranger line, which is Gal Hunter, which was Predazord from the American Power Rangers. So that's one of my favorite ones. So I'm keen on building that one. Actually, I got more this week. I got more Lightning Collection figures. Actually, I still need to review some of them, and I got more. I got Phantom Ranger, not Zeo or Zeo Yellow, and the Ecliptor and Astronema 2-pack.
Wow.
So I got all of that in. Actually, that came yesterday via Amazon. So I missed a few things. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna get a Zeo Pink so I can finish that set because it came as a 2-pack that you could only get from Hasbro Pulse initially. So because that switchovers to Cat, from Kimberly,
right?
That was her introduction. So they released a metallic Pink Ranger Cat. When they did their weird metallic section for no reason.
Okay.
So they did that one initially, and she comes with a Zeo Crystal. So that's right before they transform, right?
Huh.
So the 2-pack is her normal non-metallic Pink Ranger, MMPR Pink Ranger.
Right.
A little white cat, because, back in the day when she still served Rita or whoever it was, she would turn into a cat. And then she comes with her Zeo Pink. So we actually have 3 separate head sculpts for this one character now.
Wow.
Whereas Rocky has one head sculpt and it was fucking horrible. Actually, he's got a new one coming. That's right. They do have a Rocky update Red Ranger coming, but it's a metallic one. But his initial Zeo head sculpt is so goddamn bad. It is so goddamn bad. Also, more Power Rangers. I picked up the latest comic books. The end of the Eltaran War, which was pretty fucking cool. Um,
Nice.
as Sean was talking about last week, if you are sleeping on the Power Rangers comics, you need to stop. Like fucking go pick it up. They're releasing the volumes out now in trade paperback. They've got some of the fucking hardcovers coming. I'm gonna hopefully try to get a hold of some of those. Especially for the sections I missed. I do want some hardcovers of that. But like ever since this new version of Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin has split off, they have done some crazy shit. So now it looks like they're gonna split back off to the Omega Rangers doing their thing and the normal Power Rangers doing their thing after this. So it was pretty interesting to see how they ended this section. So now I'm just really interested in where the Power Rangers universe comic is gonna go with the actual backstory of how the Power Rangers came to be in the first place.
Sounds pretty
See,
cool.
that's what I want to see.
Yeah, well, like because both the comics and even the most recent series have talked about the Morphin Masters. Um, I think it's not Dino Charge, Dino Fury. Brought up the Morphin Masters at one point, but the comics referenced one of the kind of elemental aspects of it, which is what happened during Shattered Grid. Then they went over the emissaries, which all seem to be they're connected to a certain color ranger. So there was like the red, yellow, blue, and I forget what the other color emissary they had was, but they were apparently part of the series before this started. And the cool thing about the emissaries, they represent every ranger of that color, and they are constantly shifting between ranger uniforms.
Huh.
Like
Oh,
it's pretty cool. Like they're so connected to the grid that they're literally changing between uniforms of every ranger of that color. So it's actually and it's represented by a lightning bolt going across them, like electricity going across them, and it's switching to the next uniform.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they exist as, of course, part of the Morphin Grid and stuff like that. What they're doing with the lore of Power Rangers in the fucking comics is absurd, and it's like, you never thought you wanted to know this shit, but you really want to fucking know this shit. You know, going into like the space aspect of it, and of course they left off with a cliffhanger with something happened, and we got to see later what's going to be the coming of it. You know, so.
definitely.
And I had to
Cool.
try really, really, really hard not to order all of the Iron Studios Power Rangers statues because they
No, I
just,
thought you were gonna do it.
dude. Well, I have to justify it, dude, because I have to come up with that, $1,100 somehow.
Ooh,
I think that's just me doing the math because you got to get 7 Power Rangers plus Zordon and now Alpha. So they had,
wow.
and it comes with the whole what is it called? Not it was known as the command center. It
Yeah.
comes with the entire command center diorama, and then Alpha comes with like the last little chunk of it. Now
Ah,
he's of course cheaper because he's smaller, but like they haven't showed where he fits on the diorama just yet, though. That's the only thing that kind of sucks.
hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I could just stick with only the original 5 Rangers, but then you've got a green and a white Ranger that are just there doing nothing. It just seems
Yeah.
pointless. And then they come with a big ass light up Zordon head in the background. It's just like fuck. It's like if I could actually sell like everything else figure wise for a decent price and afford that, I definitely would.
Your head, it's so big.
But like
It
because
is.
well, here's the problem: they're coming out soon-ish. If it was coming out like next year, I could justify it. But like
Oh, yeah.
I think that they're coming out right before the Thundercats ones.
Well,
Oh,
it is the 30th anniversary, so
Yeah, but I could not. Like, I'm going to be paying off my credit card already for a while based off the shit that's already coming. And I'm doing my best, I'm really doing my best, to pay it down as fast as I can. And it's going to be hard. I'm going to have to sell off some shit that I have pre-ordered to basically just pay for it. Um, like these Mortal Kombat statues I've got. I'm gonna have to sell those. I'm just not.
Mm.
I just don't want them. Like I thought I really wanted them, but you know, I didn't get the ones I want to kind of complete the collection. So having a partial collection of something that expensive is stupid. So I'd rather sell it to somebody who can complete the set or needs to fill it out, and plus that way it just fucking pays for itself.
Man.
So that I need to do. I've got 3 other expensive fucking statues coming in because, of course, I put down the down payment on it. I can't cancel it, so they have to fucking come through. So
Cool.
that fucking sucks. That's one thing that sucks about BBTS. You know, if you put down the money for an expensive pre-order, you have to fucking pay for that pre-order. You can't cancel it. Normal shit, you can cancel anytime because you didn't fucking put any money down. So I've got 3 very expensive Egyptian gods coming. So that's gonna suck. So either way, that's my financial woes. The Shoki's financial woes of the week. What else? Oh, Peacemaker, obviously. We're gonna get to that in just a second. You know, because I'm bad about putting things in order. I have been watching the Grand Tour on Amazon. You know, because I was an old school Top Gear fan, so I've been watching that, getting caught up on that shit. And I just finished season 2, about to start season 3. So I'm excited about that. You know, just to see more cocking about of my 3 favorite car presenters. You know, shout out to Clarkson, May, and Hamster.
Nice.
The best car TV presenters of all time. In the world. There we go. I had to get that in there. And then today, I mean, there's more shit we definitely watch, but you know, some of it's just like, I'm not gonna talk about it. But what was the today, before going live, thank God we actually got this extra time due to Sean having to paint a tailgate. We got caught up on the new season of Marvelous Miss Maisel over on Amazon as well. That is
How is that? Any good?
That's a fucking fantastic show.
Huh.
It is fucking fantastic. Like, and it got massively delayed due to COVID. Like the 4th season was supposed to be out at, I think, middle of last year. And
It has piqued my interest.
yeah, it's a great show. It's funny. It's super irreverent, and it's a period piece, and it's all about comedy.
Nice.
They have a Lenny Bruce character who's fantastic. So it's a fictional comedian going through real world stuff.
Cool.
You know? And like the new season just started, so they dropped 2 new episodes just to keep people on the hook. And they're going to be releasing every Friday. So definitely every weekend update, we're going to be catching up on Miss Maisel. Because the last season, season 3, ended on a hefty fucking thing. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, it was a royal fuck up. And like, we're wondering like, okay, where's it going to go from here? And then when the new season starts, she starts back in the comedy club where she began in the first place. And like, okay, wait, I thought we would pick up where we left off. And so through a comedy bit, she basically tells the story of how she got from there to here.
Wow.
And how she's restarting things. So it's pretty cool. And that was only the first episode. And like, the only thing that gets old, especially in the first season, is how fast everyone talks.
Yeah, that's typically British.
Well, it's not British, though. It's American.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's staged in 1950s New York. And they're a Jewish family.
British.
No.
Or maybe I'm thinking of another show, but
You might be. You're probably thinking of Miss Marvel or Miss Marble or something like that.
yeah, that could be.
Yeah,
Yep.
wrong. That's a Agatha Christie thing. But
Right.
no,
Okay.
this is a different show entirely. But the only thing about it is, it's like their dialogue. It's not that it's so fast that it's hard to understand. It's that they speak as if they know what the other person is about to say. As though they speak as though they're reading a script and know what's going on. So it comes across as they're so witty that they can reply super fast.
Right.
But when it's every conversation,
Yeah,
it's
takes the
too
wind out of the sails.
exactly. It's like it's every conversation, and it just goes so quickly. And like every now and then, though, like they have a real normal paced conversation. but they're going through a lot of shit through the show. I'll just say that. Like her life gets fucked up episode 1, and
Yeah,
then that's how she gets into comedy.
I
Um,
see.
and season 3, I believe it is, Zach Levi comes in, you know,
Oh, really?
from Chuck. Yeah, he's great.
Oh,
And this was just prior to doing Shazam, so he's already getting buff for Shazam. Uh,
nice.
Also, I just listened to him on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, and I did not realize he is not one of the traditional Hollywood elites.
No, he's not.
He's actually very anti-woke.
Yeah, he is. He's pretty good that way. Like Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt is riding the line between the Hollywood bullshit, but it also comes down to being, I think, slightly conservative Christian values. Makes it
Yeah,
different. And I think that is
yeah,
why those guys are a little different. Chris Pratt falls a little bit too close to the actual woke line, I think. But so here, and I mean, I've seen Zach Levi do a lot of shit over time,
yeah.
especially with the supernatural guys, and like every convention he would have like a whole separate thing off to the side where he would allow people to come in, almost like a talk show. Uh,
Kind of, yeah.
It's the word I'm looking for, panel. So I mean, like I know he's like very much into TV. He's very much a nerd. He's very much, now I know he's a very conservative Christian type.
Yeah.
Um, and it's fantastic, and I like it. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much my week as it goes. Um, I don't think anything else crazy has happened. Um, that I can think of. you know,
Sweet.
I put oil in my car.
Yay.
Yeah, so that was a thing.
Yeah, because you mentioned that last week.
Yeah,
That,
yeah, and it's been significantly happier. Except it's coming out as fast as I put it in, so it's fine.
welcome to the wonderful world of auto maintenance.
Yes, I'm very much aware of how to maintain autos. The
There we
only, well, the problem is with me is that I don't do much of my own maintaining because it does still have a warranty.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem is that it's a turbo with no oil catch can, so a
Oh,
lot of the oil is just being pushed out from the crankcase into the intake, and it's just dripping out is really what's happening.
oh, wow.
So it sucks. But
Yeah.
it had a very crappy catch can on it initially that I don't think was actually doing anything. So it was just one of those things that somebody slapped on it back when it was a show car. It's very much not a show car anymore. Now it's a beater, but it's
Oh,
still
wow.
it is faster having oil in it. I'll say
There we
that.
go. That's the matter.
Go figure. You put oil in the thing, it goes faster. It's fun. It's fun that way. But either way, so let's go ahead and discuss Peacemaker, and then we'll go into like news of the week, as it were.
Yeah.
So
Pee
obviously,
break.
P break, declaring P break.
Yeah, man, I got a piss.
All right, P break.
Fine.
Come on.
Coincidentally enough, so do I.
Everybody pee and get a drink.
Cool.
All right, and we're recording again from the P break. I have a new beer that tastes really fucking strange.
Yummy.
All right, so let's talk about the real Book of Boba Fett that was Peacemaker.
That's a good way of putting it.
All right, so since we all caught up on it, and I just got done talking a lot, Sean, lead us off on your thoughts about Peacemaker as a series and what you thought about the finale that just happened.
Man, that was the best series I've seen in a long time. I can't even remember how long it's been since there's been a show on TV that actually I was excited to watch every week. Like I couldn't wait until the day it drops, so I had something to watch to continue the story. And I never in my life would have thought anything with John fucking Cena in it
Right?
would make me care. And it does, man. It does. It's so good. It is dumb as it can be, as campy as it can be sometimes, rude, crude, guy humor, all that. You still see the emotion portrayed from John Cena's character.
You
And
mean when
what
he's
he
doing
goes through.
his face exercises?
Yeah.
I love that fucking callback from like the early episode. He's doing his face exercises, man.
John Cena sad. John Cena happy.
Oh god. Anyways,
And
continue.
yeah. So, I mean, we can say spoilers, right?
Yes.
Oh, it's good because I didn't care. So when they're on the bus and they're going and they're talking shit to what's the big black girl's name?
Adebayo.
Adebayo.
Yeah, she's hot. I don't know why she's just hot to me. Anyway, so they start doing him and Vigilante start making the fart noises
Yeah.
for like 5
Oh,
minutes
yeah.
straight. Seems like.
Yes, it
Man.
was.
Oh my god, why did that get to me so much? I was laughing my ass off, and that's
Because
usually the stupidest thing you can do.
you're a fucking child.
Yes, I am an overgrown child.
Okay, so I'm just gonna pause just real quick. I want to talk about my HBO experience as of late. Something is wrong with my HBO app on my TV,
Oh, yeah.
and it will not fucking buffer worth a shit. Like it'll just suddenly, like all of a sudden, all the audio is gone, and then like it'll like get hung up, and then the app will just fucking crash.
Oh,
And
crap.
so I started, and it's only HBO. Like Amazon sometimes has issues, but the HBO app on the Samsung TV is fucking garbage all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on. I thought it was our internet connection, but it's not because everything else functions fine. But I ended
Mine
up,
does the same thing.
does it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Samsung
actually,
TV, same problem.
so it is the app. It is the fucking Samsung TV app. Okay, so what I ended up doing, little hint for everybody, if you have a Samsung phone and you have a Samsung TV, you can actually use Samsung Dex from your phone to your TV. Basically, it's a streaming dealie. It just streams what's happening on your phone to the TV. But it's not a straight screen share. It actually acts as though it turns your TV into like a Samsung PC in a way. So I actually opened HBO via my phone on the TV and watched it that way and had zero issues, except for the fact I
Huh.
had to use my phone as a touchpad. So it actually turns your phone into a touchpad to use your TV like a computer.
Wow.
Interesting.
It's pretty interesting, and the fact that it worked so well, I thought was crazy. But that was my experience in trying to watch anything on HBO for the last 2 fucking weeks. And it was really goddamn annoying because we've been watching Doctor Who as well, which, by the way, we've gotten into the David Tennant era now, which has gone really well. And the wifey is enjoying that. So we're trying to get through the Rose season. We just watched I forgot to mention this. So we watched the episode where they went to the alternate universe and they encountered the new versions of the Cybermen, setting up all the shit that happens in the future. Either way, continue on with your Peacemaker thoughts. So okay. Also, Sean, don't watch Orange is the New Black because you will just be probably jerking off constantly because she's one of the main characters in Orange is the New Black.
I have seen that, and I believe that's where my
You fell in love with her there?
started.
Oh my god. Oh, and this is why I told you I don't believe that you're her type, because she does seem to only go for other black women.
Well,
You're
until that day comes, we're never going to know.
You're a big buff white dude. I don't think you apply because she seems to only go for much smaller black women.
Unless you pull
Yeah.
a Justin Trudeau, and
Jesus
you might
Christ.
have hope.
Just invite her to an Arabian Nights party and just
Yeah.
go for it, but you're also gonna probably have to tuck it.
There you go.
Well, I'm in the Williams thing,
Oh
so
god,
it's all good to me.
we just canceled. We just got canceled.
Yeah.
Again,
I, on the other hand, more enjoy hardcore, but that's just me.
whatever blows your skirt up.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't argue with a tight little blonde girl. It's just...
Yeah.
And she's a badass. She's a fucking badass. Anyways, continue on with your love of the series and your...
Yeah, man. It's just I still can't get over it. John Cena, man. This guy. I hate this guy. Man, I love him in this movie. Suicide Squad, couldn't stand any of that shit.
So wait, the same character, but you couldn't stand him in that movie?
No, couldn't.
Is it because it was his character shift in this series that made you love him?
Absolutely. Like when you get to dive in and get to know him and his crazy ass father, and then what happened with his older brother and how he became the giant loser he is.
Yeah.
But he does have a heart in there somewhere. He just might blow your face off to get to it. I don't know. There's something about it. It dug me in.
It's an interesting character.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you weren't interested in him because he was either a dumbass or a bad guy in the Suicide Squad. And this was well, started out that way, but then it's also him reinventing himself due to what happened in the. And I do like how they tied in the events of the Suicide Squad to being his triggering event to becoming better.
Oh yeah.
Him killing Rick Flag really fucked him up, but only because of what Flag said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that stuck with him. I mean, how many times did they flash back to that? 4 or 5 fucking times for this series? Like it fucking like between his brother dying and him stabbing that dude that his dad made him stab and then killing Flag was like the things that really shaped who he was.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what did you think about the rest of the finale?
So the whole cow thing totally caught me off guard. That is not what I thought was going to happen.
No.
I really saw it going a different way, and then poof, nope, left turn.
As soon as I saw what helmet she had on, I knew where it was going. I knew exactly where it was going. But I was like, it was like if it had been a different helmet, I'd been like, this would be interesting. But seeing how their plan failed initially with Eagle Eye fucking trying to land the Sonic Boom helmet in the right spot, and then John fucking up and the helmet getting found. Like, if they had just... Because considering how far underground that shit was, there was no reason for them to wait. As soon as John hit the surface, they should have fucking started activate Sonic Boom. And it would have just ended that shit. But everybody above ground would have been a threat, right? But the cow and the teleporter would have been dealt with immediately. At least that's my opinion on the situation.
Yeah. But anyways, so and then at the very end, the mystery guests that show up and Peacemaker talking shit, man. I love it. I love it so much.
He just straight up talks shit to at least 4 of the Justice League members. Since we can't have we don't know what the future of Batman, so we can't have him in there. And Cyborg too expensive to fucking put on screen. So we get a Wonder Woman and a Superman stand-in, and then we actually get the Flash and Aquaman proper.
Yeah, that was nuts, man.
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be like a face replacement for Jason Momoa. Nope. He was there.
Yeah, did he really deny? I mean, like hardcore deny the fish rumor, or they just kind of beat around it?
No, he said, I hate that fucking rumor.
Denied it.
Yeah, he denied it. He fucking denied it.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's not a rumor.
Yeah, that's why, Barry being a dickhead is like...
Which makes me think, did he start the rumor?
I don't think so, because Barry is so desperate to fucking have friends. I don't think he would do that.
I don't know. But then again, like they've always portrayed Barry as being a little bit of a jokester, prankster here and there.
But this version of Barry is so different because like
True.
They played down his intelligence.
Yeah.
They played down his actual skills. Like this is an early version of Flash, even though he's technically been the Flash for a while. He's like still figuring shit out. But usually by the time Flash joins the Justice League, he's well established. And even in this one, he's still rocking the old uniform. So this is prior to the Flash movie that's coming. Where he's got the updated suit that he borrowed the concept from the Flash TV show.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Which is an interesting way how they played that into it. They acknowledge that technically speaking, the Flash TV show is in the multiverse. But no, just the fuck you, Barry. Like hearing a member of the Justice League tell someone to fuck off was fucking great. I was like, okay, James Gunn, and I forgot who it was. One of the guys I watched that review shit. He's like, I want James Gunn to do everything from now on. It's like, well, he can't. But like, it's funny to let James Gunn do a R-rated show, R-rated movie again. Where in Marvel, he can only at best do PG-13. It's like, could you imagine Guardians of the Galaxy, but with the Suicide Squad's
It'd be
attitude?
awesome.
It'd be so fucking... But we got to keep Disney... Disney have to keep it all family-friendly. Language.
Yeah. Dumb.
Yeah, it is dumb, but he has made this show. And I would argue that one major difference between this and Boba Fett was that Boba Fett took the Yeah, I'm saying it didn't have one man who laid it all out and then directed it and kept it all in one creative direction. They brought in different directors for different episodes, but
Yeah.
also the difference between Robert Rodriguez and fucking James Gunn. And we know that the best episodes of the Book of Boba Fett were done by other people other than the main fucking director. Is
Yeah.
like that was the craziness of it. But it seems like Peacemaker was given the time to really breathe and build the script and build the world, and the Star Wars series are not in the same way, and they're being led in a direction that some people say is really fucking stupid. But I think it just becomes, you can still take the trash heap and leave it behind and build something better from where the trash heap left off.
Yeah.
Continue the story, but with somebody who is a better storyteller. And James Gunn is a fucking phenomenal director and writer. And the music choices, I want the soundtrack to this fucking show. Like it's fucking I don't even know most of the music that was in this show outside of like Motley Crue and maybe some Poison, but like all the other shit, including the theme song, I didn't fucking know. And I'm like, I want this soundtrack. Like the Guardian soundtrack was fucking phenomenal because it's handpicked by James Gunn.
Yeah.
All right, so Mike, thoughts on the series, and perhaps what was your favorite thing about it?
Let's see. As a series of a whole, the storytelling, great. Typical James Gunn, right? It's definitely got some good character building, especially from John Cena, since last we've seen him in Suicide Squad. So, and it honestly does make him kind of take a quick take on his life overall. I think, since his little demise in Suicide Squad, definitely rethinking life all over again. And then adding in the little jokes and quirks here and there. It's just basically typical James Gunn. Having fun with the soundtrack and the situations and everything. It was pretty good. The other stuff that's in it, on one hand, it's fun to watch. On the other hand, it almost makes you feel kind of dirty watching it. you know, in
Explain.
a, in a way, in a way. Well, like I suppose you guys are, totally used to, HBO Max and the kind of shows I guess that they produce and whatnot. So as for me up here in Canada, yeah, sure, I know we kind of get it. It's like crap. Let's just say surprise nudity here and there. It's like, oh shit, I didn't exactly expect that.
Oh,
So
used to more of the puritanical nature of previously modern
well,
television
yeah, of sorts,
versus
right?
HBO and Showtime and Skinamax and whatnot.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
to be fair,
I know that James Gunn, with his previous Guardians movies and whatnot, yeah, I mean, I know he's shown that kind of stuff before, and he's definitely no stranger to it, obviously. So,
yeah. Well,
it's not that I didn't find it offensive. I just kind of found it surprising.
well. To be fair though, only episode 1 had actual nudity, with the
Yeah,
exception
well, yeah,
with the
that's true.
exception of a John Cena butt.
Well, yeah. So, but
So I mean, that's
that,
usually how HBO rolls. If it's not one of those series, it's going to heavily rely on sex.
yeah,
It's going to have like tits in the thumbnail, basically, is what it's going to come
yeah,
down to. We're
true.
gonna give you the good stuff literally up front, and then everything from there is going to be fart jokes and guns.
Yeah.
I think I just summed up the series, didn't I?
The only thing that really kind of put me off about the whole series is the fact that they make Augie like his dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
They make him out to be like this conservative guy that's also basically like this racist asshole, right?
Well, he
So,
was basically meant to be his
I
own
mean,
version of a clan member or a clan
yeah,
leader, And
But
they tend, well, the Klan does tend to use a very biblical based, for its own version of biblical religion, very its own basis of Catholicism or Christianity as their bias. I wouldn't necessarily call anything about it in a conservative manner, technically speaking, but I understand extreme right leaning, yes.
yeah,
If you go
you
that
know, and
direction,
that's what kind of put me off. It's like, really? Like,
but
seriously?
that is what he was.
Yeah, and I
He's
tried
he's the
to
white
look
dragon,
at it in that sense that, you know what? Yeah, sure, he's like basically a white supremacist, obviously,
a white
right?
supremacist supervillain. I mean,
And I get that.
in
I
a
totally
modern era,
yeah.
and a tech
But you
genius, and
you know what?
he's super racist Iron Man is really what he is,
Yeah, essentially, right?
or Batman too.
Why bring like the because when he goes into into the first episode when Peacemaker visits his dad, right? And
Yes,
obviously if you catch it kind of quick, right? He obviously has the TV on, which is kind of like this Alex Jones kind of esque kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
thing, right? So I kind of caught that. But even before he leaves the hospital, he's talking to like what was it, some Mexican guy or something like that, and he makes this comment like, I'll try to make it a point to to shoot more white males, right?
Yeah.
It's like, really? Okay, we're gonna go in
Well,
this direction,
I do
and
get
then
what.
at the end with Abadeo, it's like your fascist take on libertarian freedom. It's like, oh, well, like, come on. Do
Well,
we need
well,
to mention these
but
little things here and there? And that's what I found kind of off-putting about the series. I enjoyed the series, but you know what? It really doesn't need to have these little added, you know, tropes in it that make a belief or a certain type of affiliation to a certain kind of demographic.
uh, and while I agree with you in a lot of aspects, the show shouldn't do that. I think they were very specific with this one.
Yeah.
The way his dad raised him in a white supremacist, hate anyone of color, violently murder people type situation. And while
Yeah.
the thing I think they were getting at was like, especially with episode one, was like he does have unconscious bias
Oh, totally.
because of what his dad has done, but he's
And
never
I
thought
do not
about it
agree with that, obviously.
until somebody pointed it out to him. He never thought about it. And I think, like Sean was talking about, his character building from being the lunkhead with a gun who just kills people in the sake of peace
Yeah.
to a guy who now thinks about what he's doing, that now doesn't well, he's never wanted to kill kids, but he thought about everything. Like, a lot of the shit he worked through in this series was all about the emotional damage
No,
that
that's true.
and
And that
and
I
I
am
and I agree with you, painting one side of something to be evil for a specific reason is bad, and a lot of shows do carry on a little too far. But I think they were going for a very specific area with this. Like, they weren't comparing every conservative person to being that white supremacist, even though the Canadian government is doing so.
no.
Um, in this case, it was shot in Canada, correct? Peacemaker was shot
Yeah, I believe in,
somewhere. It was
BC?
shot somewhere. I think not in Alberta though.
No, BC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, irony.
See, it's only because I'm thinking, you know what? People are gonna be taking this and painting with a very broad brush.
I think
That,
that
oh,
the
yeah, because there are those kind of nutcases out there,
well,
right?
yeah, but I think they were painting these guys specifically with the nutcase brush.
I
and
think so.
and what the best part about Peacemaker's series and him as a character was him realizing his faults
Yeah.
and wanting to be different, unlike
And
his
changing
dad, who
from that.
didn't see anything he did as a fault, but everything
Oh,
that
which
went
which
against
brings me
him
back
was wrong.
to yeah, which brings me back to, the very good character arc that he goes through, right? So,
Get
But the jokes,
we're getting
love them.
echoes and Sean. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No, the typical jokes, it's fun James Gunn, hilarity. Um, you know, even to the point about the beard jokes.
yes.
Uh,
Thank you for finally getting to it in the final episode,
yes,
Diebeard.
it's like finally we have closure now.
I think the usage of the butterflies to point out some of the awkwardness of their team
Yeah,
was actually pretty good. Even when it
yeah,
came down to Mern,
yeah,
you know.
exactly.
And the thing is, Mern made the other butterflies out to be extremists,
Yeah,
and he was the lone hero. And for them, it was the exact opposite. He was the lone crackpot
yeah,
going against their entire ideology.
yeah,
So the show was fairly neutral in a lot of ways, but very obvious in its uh, explicit characters.
right.
And
But I gotta tell you, I did, the ending, how it ended, with the killing of the cow. I kind of figured that was going to happen anyway.
yeah, did you see
You
it
know,
happening that way?
because well, what happening that way with the human cannonball freaking helmet.
Human torpedo.
Yeah, human torpedo. Yeah, sorry.
Yes,
Um,
the stupidest fucking helmet.
it's like,
Well,
it's like,
no, the
okay,
scabies helmet. The scabies helmet is actually the
Davies
stupidest
helmet
helmet.
was the most retarded of them all. I'm sorry, but
I did want to see it
that would
used.
have been interesting. Had they gone that direction, but yeah, I thought that was quite
Oh,
hilarious. Abadeo just friggin' missing
Goff.
officer. Oh God, what's her name again?
It was Goff. Is the one you're talking about. When it went
Officer
when
Song, Detective Song.
yes, but it was the Goth butterfly.
Yeah, Goth Butterfly. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, totally missing her. It's like, oh yeah, God,
I thought she
there's
was
a joke right
dead.
there. That
I,
was just still so funny.
I thought she was dead when she hit the wall.
That's what I thought too, almost.
Like
Or
I was like,
brilliant.
are they gonna kill her after she just came down there to save his ass?
That, yeah, I wouldn't have put it past Gunn to do that, but I thought, no, you know what? At this point, the cast is set,
They weren't gonna
and
kill any of the team except for the alien.
yeah, exactly.
That's the way I saw it. It's like Mern
Yeah,
died, but
yeah,
I thought they were gonna kill Hardcore for a second. I was like, damn, she got hit with a shotgun and then something else.
yeah. No, I kind of had a feeling they wouldn't have killed off Hardcore just because,
Well, in the
you know,
comics, she leads the team
strong
anyways.
woman,
So
which
yeah,
is typical Hollywood trope at this point. Oh yeah, the super strong, hard ass female. So
but she was working through her shit too.
true,
Of
true.
never trusting anyone, never getting close to anyone, and then round about the time they went and attacked the like bottling plant, and she started loosening up. Takes the pictures of the group. She's
Exactly.
playing the music, gets a smile on her face.
Yeah.
You know,
Letting a little loose, which is
let
good. So
letting humanity in instead of just being a cold-blooded killer.
exactly.
So I
So
think I think this show was an interesting dichotomy of newbies who don't do this shit
yeah,
versus stone cold killers who are less than human,
yeah.
and then them meeting in the middle.
It was a pretty good series.
So
I'm not disappointed.
no, by no means. I like John's storyline to the point that once he saw the fucking cow, he's like he was having kaiju flashbacks to
Yeah, it's like
Starro, and he's like, "Fuck
no,
this!"
no,
Yeah,
no.
no. Although he should have just fucking not left the helmet where he did to be
Oh God, yeah, I know.
blatantly spotted.
Really?
Um, I will say I did feel bad for the guy who got into like the or the butterfly that got into the police captain, because like
Oh yeah,
when everything started collapsing and he looked up at the cow and started crying, I was like, oh fuck. I was like, these are real. Like, these aren't just fucking aliens who don't feel things or aren't stupid. Like, he's legitimately scared and sad because this thing is getting hurt. I was like,
Yeah, Captain
fuck.
Walk. Yeah, it's like,
It's like they made me care about fucking little praying mantis butterfly creatures
yeah,
until the point that they all died, and then I was like, fuck them. But I love the fact, I don't know about you guys, I love the fact that he didn't kill Goff, and then even at the end, it comes back around to Goff comes to him
yeah, because
because
he had,
they established that weird little relationship.
yeah,
He purposely didn't shoot Goff in the head, although he was going to at one point. Then he just shoots the body instead, goes for the
it's
body
not a
kill.
bad ending, but then again, I'm thinking, all right, well, you only got a little bit of that goo left.
Well,
So
true, but there
this
was
is gonna be
more.
interesting.
I think there was more elsewhere.
Maybe,
Once again, I mean, hell, the actual what do we call that? A dairy? Like what the?
I suppose.
It's like because they're milking it, right? Technically speaking.
Yeah,
So in theory, there were vats of this shit around, and he'll just steal some. You know,
I suppose.
I mean, they left it there. That's the thing. I was like, okay, so the Justice League shows up at the end, and nobody cleans up this fucking mess
I know, right? And there's still bodies lying all over the place. Like, really?
everywhere. I was like,
Really?
where's well, Argus at least would have been doing it. Also,
Yeah,
this is our first name drop of Argus in the DCEU.
true.
It has not been said. We talked about Project or Task Force X, being the Suicide Squad, but
Yeah,
it's our first time we get to see Argus on screen and actually mentioned. And then for Amanda Waller to sort of get her just desserts at the end from her
exactly.
own daughter,
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I figured her to just drop the line on the butterflies being real.
And then at the end with Judo Master
Yes,
looking at all the carnage, it looks like he's about to cry at the end,
he
like, oh my
did.
god, I missed out. you know?
Yeah, he was totally on board for what they were doing, and he
Like,
was not a butterfly.
take that, you little twerp.
So now we got a revenge plot later, I guess,
There we go, I suppose, yeah.
or
So,
or I don't know. Maybe Goff would get into him, but
yeah,
it's just and then now we keep Robert Patrick on in ghost racist dad form
exactly.
or racist ghost dad form, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
And I like how his first experience with that was in the forest as he finds his helmet, and it's hardcore there to see him go through it.
Yeah, I can see more of this happening in
It
certain situations, say
yeah.
in season 2, where, traumatic ghost racist dad is, going to be pointing out maybe little clues here and there.
Well, you know what I want to see is if like if that is his negative voice in his head, that at some point he also sees Keith
Yeah,
like randomly, like
that would be interesting.
I
can
do
see.
like the idea at the end that fucking Adrian just jumps out the fucking window because he's fine,
Yeah.
even though he had been shot. He's like, fuck this, and just jumps out the window. I was like, okay. Like,
Oh,
so
dude,
Vigilante is a badass, and it's weird. He's such an awkward and fucked up human, but he is a legitimate badass.
yeah. Yeah.
And then Harcourt, who's now having to go through physical therapy from being shot,
Mhm.
so hopefully she'll get back up to full kick-ass speed. But what it's like, there will be a season 2, but like with Argus and the Suicide Squad now in jeopardy due to it being let out in the open, like who the fuck knows where this is gonna go.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
It should be interesting. I look forward to it. And what's funny, during the Suicide Squad movie filming, James Gunn said that out of everyone he's ever worked with, John Cena had the best dramatic slash comedic timing and ability out of anyone he's worked with. And like he's so on the spot. Like we've seen throughout the whole series ad libs and stuff like that whenever they do the cutscenes.
Yeah.
And some of those things are not scripted at all. And I feel like there are scenes in this movie that are just not scripted. And
Yeah.
what was it? I think they said that a lot of the Suicide Squad movie wasn't scripted. A lot of Guardians 2 wasn't scripted. It was just like, here's what's going to happen. You're playing the characters.
Yeah.
You say what the character would say.
Yeah.
And I feel like he has such a way with the people he works with that he brings out the best of them because he lets them do them.
Yeah, it's all got a very natural flow to it.
And yes, John Cena is the biggest surprise of this because we all just think of him in his doofy roles he's done,
Yeah.
either comedically or wrestling, or even in what I didn't actually see the last Fast and Furious movie where he came in as Dom's brother, but
No,
where he's playing like a straightforward asshole.
yeah.
But yeah, it was a heartfelt character. He had character flaws. He was fucked in the head. Like bad. Like if they wanted to give us a spin-off series for each of the weird Suicide Squad characters other than Harley, I'd be down for it.
Polka Dot Man, the series.
Well, we can't. He's dead.
I know.
We don't need to. We could see it up till then.
That would have been awesome.
How about we let the movies glorify the heroes and let the TV shows glorify the villains?
Yeah. See, I'd be okay with that.
I'd be down with that. Like, give me compelling, good villains.
The
like,
mother references. I can just see that.
Oh God, yeah, if we stuck with Polka Dot Man. All right, so
okay,
with Peacemaker out of the way, we did have a lot of other things that dropped in the past week or so that we didn't actually cover last week, and we are running out of time because other people have to go do things. So
yeah,
we did not get a chance to talk about the Jurassic World Dominion trailer that dropped, the official trailer.
Right.
We get to see that basically dinosaurs are running amok everywhere. Owen and crew are trying to round up as many of them as they can. We get to see the old cast being brought back in because why not?
Yeah, at this point it's a money grab.
I would say so.
Because it's basically Jurassic Park 3 all over again. Dinosaurs in California, in a city. Whether it was, I forget if it was San Francisco or whatever.
That was Jurassic Park 2, and that was San Diego.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
That was Lost World.
Essentially, it's this all over again. And hey, why not make more money by adding in some of the old cast, like Jeff Goldblum and Admiral Holdo. So, why not?
Hey, I've got no problem with Laura Dern. I mean, she does not look 55.
Is she really 55?
She's 55.
Wow.
Yeah. And
what's not that good for her.
Now, I'm kind of excited to see some old characters come back in, but what the fuck are they gonna do? These people deal with fossils, not living dinosaurs.
Yeah. So it's another cheap money grab.
I think so, but I think my thoughts on it is, where did all these other dinosaurs come from? Because there was only a set few that made it out of the mansion at the end of the last movie.
That's where imagination is going to have to happen, and of course, you just have to assume that all these other different dinosaurs were, escaping the mansion back in Jurassic World 2.
No, I think what they're gonna have to explain is that Wu had been selling dino DNA on the black market to their rival company, and why we get different looking raptors, why we even get the feathered raptor, is that there are more pure looking dinosaurs. We're even getting a T-Rex that's bigger than a normal T-Rex, but I don't think it's InGen that did it. I think it's this other group. So I think that their idea was the ones who wanted to use dinosaurs as weapons on the side were continuing that science. They were continuing to make dino weapons. But hopefully we don't just get the weird amalgamation dinosaurs that are just stupid and don't exist.
Just stupid precedents to go by. Like the military wants to use dinosaurs as weapons when, what? Tanks or say jet fighters won't do? Like, really?
Well, I think the idea that he said, like they said, like they said in Jurassic World,
you're going to add weapons to them and they become dino riders.
Okay, well, do you remember what the original concept for these movies were going to be?
Oh yeah,
dino human hybrid soldiers.
Yeah.
And if you saw the initial drawings they did for it,
pretty funky.
They were awesome. Like a Triceratops human. but
Yeah.
like it was massive. I was like, okay, that's fucking cool. I was like, and then we can cross over with Transformers. But
There-
I think it'll be an okay movie. I hope the CG does not stand out as bad as it was in the previous movies. But I like what they're doing. I just don't think as a whole what they're gonna do ultimately makes sense. But I'll give it a chance because I've liked everything else so far, even Fallen Kingdom, because there were surprises in there I did not see coming in Fallen
yeah.
Kingdom. Um, there were some things that I really liked that were funny about that movie, like the dinosaur fucking playing possum with the fucking hunter guy, like
That was pretty good.
tapping him on the shoulder with his tail to distract
Yeah.
him. That was fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was like, this thing is literally so intelligent. It's using cartoon logic to fucking beat this guy. I was like, that's a scary fucking smart creature. I was like, it's literally
Exactly.
like, hey, what's over there? And then
Uh,
fucking bites his arm. I was like, oh fuck you, man. I was like, I don't want an animal that smart. I was
no.
like, no. It's like they can plan a distraction for you. Um, but it might be cool. I mean, I just want to know where the extra dinosaurs came from. That's all I'm curious about. I don't need the extra cast returning. They could have just kept building on it. And I would have been okay with that, you know.
Yeah, but Hollywood's gonna bank on nostalgia, right?
I know.
You know,
I
and
don't
that's the
want
only
it.
reason why they're there, right? Just to
Yeah.
tug the heartstrings because they were there at the beginning, and this is a good way to kind of close out a whole saga, if you will, of rampant dinosaurs basically eating everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know, so
But I mean, and how Blue even has a baby Blue, I don't know. It looks like a direct clone of Blue, so who the fuck knows? We'll see. I don't know. It'll either be great or it'll be terrible. It's gonna
I'm
be
like,
one
why
of
the
those
hell would a
things.
dinosaur, even at this point, when many I'm assuming obviously several years have gone by.
I don't even
Why?
think it's been that long. I think it's only been a little while.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Doctor Strange 2 trailer dropped during the Super Bowl.
This will be good. This will be interesting.
Sean, thoughts?
Uh,
Did you?
I'm just kind of confused because I don't know that much about Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And it kind of seems like the end that it's going to be Doctor Strange versus bad Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and that
Oh
could be
yeah.
the Marvel curse where it's always same versus same at the end.
Hmm.
But
But
this
that being said, I did like the first Doctor Strange a lot, and I'm thinking I'll probably like the second one. I mean, he's a cool
yeah.
character, and his movies are pretty good.
And this one's being directed by Sam Raimi,
And how
who's
do I know that name?
he
I don't
did
know who he is.
the first 3 Spider-Man movies along with The Evil Dead and a few other things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he's no stranger to horror movies, so that's why there's some horror aspects to this, especially when we get into more of the zombie Strange and potential zombie Wanda.
Yeah.
We are playing with the actual multiverse, which was brought up in the previous movie. So they actually had to do a lot of rewrites to this movie because it was supposed to come out before Spider-Man No Way Home. So because they had to rewrite both of these movies to make it work. You know, so the multiverse was supposed to be introduced in this movie first and then brought into Spider-Man No Way Home. Um, and then it had to get flipped. So now they had to rewrite and reshoot a whole bunch of shit. The interesting part is the Illuminati, or it seems to be a multiversal Illuminati being dropped, including a other universe Charles Xavier with actual Patrick Stewart being brought in.
Be interesting.
So that means we know that the X-Men can now be, or the X-Men are now technically part of the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse, along with Spider-Man. So we can now play in all of those fields. There's speculation that Deadpool might have a cameo in this just because, as like somebody else being brought before the Illuminati before Doctor Strange gets brought in. And I think that the idea that it's just Strange versus Strange might be a thing, but it's also going to be the multiverse versus Wanda at some point as well.
Yeah.
And we're getting we're getting hints of things. If you go through the videos that break down even the fucking movie poster, there's a lot of stuff being brought in from What If. And in the trailer, if you're going frame by frame, you see that they pass through an actual animated universe.
Yep.
So,
Yep, because What If is tied to the MCU.
yes, it is.
Directly.
But the question is that technically an animated multiverse? Or was it just happen to be, like, say, where Spider-Ham comes from?
Uh,
So that
apparently,
I'm just saying that's what might be interesting about it. I'm just saying.
yeah.
And Haley Atwell may be returning as Captain Carter.
Yes.
And I'm here for that because, oh, that woman can polish my shield any day.
Who?
Yeah, because apparently the next Into the Spideyverse movie coming out
Yeah.
is also in a weird sort of way tied into Doctor Strange too.
Well, that already played it at the multiverse. But to answer your question, Sean, Haley Atwell is the one who played Agent Carter in the Captain America movies.
Oh,
The British chick.
yeah.
Yeah, she's hot.
Yeah.
Also, the Agent Carter series was highly underrated and should not have been canceled. I'm just
Oh,
gonna
I
say
know.
it.
That's horrible.
What?
I haven't seen it.
It's like you haven't seen it. You had to ask me a question. No, it was actually pretty good
No,
because
my wife
just
and I,
like
we
we-
really like Agent Carter. It was really
Agent Carter was a decent series because it was based in the 50s
Yeah.
or 40s post World War II, post Steve going in the ice, dealing with the initial emergence of Shield as a thing, and her being sent on different cases revolving around I forget exactly what it was in the first season.
some of it with Howard Stark.
Yeah, then they brought back what's his face to Dominic whatever to play Howard Stark, and they had the
And Jarvis.
Jarvis. They had original Butler Jarvis,
Yep.
who that was the first TV to movie crossover was Jarvis
That's right.
in Endgame. So
Yep.
when he was with now older Howard Stark, I like how they have the crossover of two different Howard Starks, but now we can also pretend that version of Howard Stark is actually just from a different multiverse.
Yeah. That's going
So
to
we
be
could play with that. That's how Dominic Cooper, that was his name. So
Yeah.
the young Howard Stark, I like his presence in the show. But the fact that she basically teams up with Jarvis, like, because Howard's not always available, so she's teamed up with Jarvis and then a couple Americans to
Oh, I
go
know.
run
It was
around chasing
such an
alien
underrated
shit.
series.
It was a good show and it was highly
It was.
underrated. 2 seasons and then it was done, which sucked because it was good. I liked it better than Agents of Shield.
Oh, and there were so many petitions that went out to save it.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
it sucked. And she's gone on to do other things, and of course she came back to voice Captain Carter in What If.
Yeah.
She's probably going to be an on-screen appearance as Captain Carter, even if it's just a cameo.
Yeah.
Of course she came back to reprise Peggy, old Peggy, and then slightly older Peggy, in the different like in Civil War and then in Endgame as well.
It's
So-
going to be interesting. Yeah. It's,
So,
Multiverse of Madness.
This movie's going to have to do a lot. It's got a lot of ground to cover, and probably
Totally.
I'm calling it now. It's going to be nearly 3 hours because it's going to have to be.
Think so?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be
Yeah.
at least 2.5 because it's going to have a lot of shit to do. We're going to have to deal with the Wanda / Strange thing. We're going to have to deal with the trial of whichever version of Strange is being brought before the Illuminati.
Well, here's also a thing, because now that Disney owns Fox,
Yeah.
and they definitely obviously own the rights now to, the whole mutant universe.
Yep.
Is something going to happen at the end of Strange 2
Yes,
that brings an X-Men into the mainstream Marvel universe?
yes, we are
It's
going to
gonna
see the moment. There was speculation, Sean.
Plus,
I
are
don't
we
know.
going to be introducing Fantastic Four then on top of that?
No, they're not going to bring them in this early. I think they already said that.
I don't know.
I don't think they will. I think unless we have a cameo from a character from them, maybe, but not. They're not going to be in this movie. There's already too much. But if you followed the House of M storyline, where Wanda eliminated mutants almost entirely,
Yeah.
but then later she reset the universe, there's speculation that Wanda, maybe even our own Wanda, because she did wipe her memory, eliminated mutants from this particular Marvel universe
Yeah.
And at the end of this movie, to get her sons back,
Yeah.
she will break the fucking multiverse by bringing mutants back to this world.
Yep.
And that will be insane because, of course, we're going to be introduced to Charles. We see the Illuminati's outpost base,
Yeah.
whatever, get attacked by Wanda specifically. Now, we
Yeah.
don't know which Wanda it is because we do see a Wanda versus Wanda at one point. So whether
True.
that's multiverse or time travel or in her own fucking head, we don't know.
And expect to see White Vision, I imagine.
Maybe. I don't know if they'll
More
drop
than
him just
likely.
yet. I think if he comes in, it'll be to help her or to help bring her in control, but he'll also have to have been involved somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know if they really want to drop that many more characters into this already massively loaded movie when they're going to be dropping major other cameos, but we'll see. I'm excited. I just hope they didn't make a mess of it where you're going to see where the original movie was and then the new version of the movie comes in, you know.
Yeah.
Not like the Joss Whedon rewrite of Justice League where you can tell where the two different movies came together. So for that, I'm pretty sure we're all excited. And then we also have the Lightyear official trailer came out for the Buzz Lightyear movie that's coming. Looks good.
I'm gonna like this.
I'm interested.
Me too.
Yeah.
I actually I liked the cartoon series. I thought it was fun. This seems to be, in theory, a prequel to that. In theory, and as I believe we were talking about it the other day, I think that this is my prediction for the movie because in the Pixar universe, Buzz Lightyear is a fictional character that either had a TV show or something, and that's where the toy came from in Toy Story, and then the later video games that they were playing in subsequent Toy Story movies, where we got our introduction to Zurg actually on screen, which was interesting because he already existed in the cartoon at that point. Either way, I'm predicting, and I've been saying it since they first showed the teaser for this movie will end in a movie theater with either like people leaving the theater and walking out and talking about it, and we see Andy about to go into the theater, or he's just leaving the theater after watching the movie.
That would.
But here's the fucked up part: the animation will have to change.
For sure.
It'll have to be Toy Story 1 animation for the meta end of that movie to tie it in, and I think that's what they'll do.
Interesting.
And I will shit myself because it'll be meta. You'll be sitting there watching on a movie theater, and they'll zoom out from the screen to a movie theater in there. I was like, it's gonna end in a meta way. I'm because it has to be a fictional story happening. Because it can't be a part of the actual Pixar universe in a normal manner.
Right.
I think it's going to be more along the lines. There's I don't know if you guys follow this enough. The actual Pixar theory.
Yeah. A little bit.
Are you familiar at all, Sean?
No.
Okay,
No.
so there's two prevailing theories when it comes to it. The main one is that every Pixar movie is within one timeline of the same universe somehow. So stretching from Brave to Wall-E to Cars to Monsters Inc. to Up, all of these movies all happen in the same timeline, in the same universe, at different points in time. Even to the point, there was the old theory that Boo from Monsters Inc. is the witch in Brave who went through one of the magic doors trying to find Sully, but ended up in like 400 BC or whatever instead. That's how you see like the Pizza Planet truck and stuff like that way back when.
Yeah, it's a pretty whack.
And right. Wall-E is one of the resets where people came back to Earth, but there was a time on Earth where the machines took over, and that's how cars came about.
Yeah.
But I don't believe in that bullshit theory. I believe in the other theory that some of the movies are in one timeline.
Yeah.
The other movies are works of fiction within that timeline. Like the Incredibles, is actually a work of fiction in the main Pixar universe. Superheroes aren't actually real. Because in Finding Nemo, there's a kid reading, I think there's a kid reading an Incredibles comic or something like that. Like there's an advertisement for the Incredibles
Oh, I
thing.
missed that.
And then someone else is wearing a Incredibles shirt or something like that in one of the movies. And it's like, it's not just a reference to that. But then also the Cars movie makes no sense in a real timeline, but it makes sense as a work of fiction because it references other Pixar movies
Yeah,
like Ratatouille and stuff like that.
interesting.
In Cars 2, they go to France and they see Gastos,
Yeah,
which is a reference to Gusteau's from Pixar,
huh?
or from Ratatouille. So I think that certain ones are works of fiction, and then other things are actual timeline. And then when it comes to the Monsters universe, like Monsters Inc. and stuff like that, that is actually the parallel universe that they always make it out to be, and they popping into our universe to do things. But Boo, the little girl from Monsters Inc.,
Yeah.
is still the witch. She was trying to find Sully, trying to find her way back into the Monsters universe to visit Kitty,
Yeah.
and ended up in the past by accident. And then Wally still happens in the far future, and things like that. And then even what was it called? What was the one with the Onward? That actually does happen on another planet and they are,
Actually, I haven't seen.
huh?
I actually haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, that's a great one. That's
Hmm.
that's Chris Pratt and Tom fucking Spider-Man.
Tom Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland
Yeah.
teaming up for that. And that's a great movie. That's a fucking phenomenal movie. But they're trying to figure out how that fits in its Pixar world. It's an alien world where one of the ships that left Earth in Wall-E crash landed on that planet. And we see the sudden technological advancement on that planet. And
Okay.
there's the mystical mountain that they go to find in that has a very distinctive shape that looks like the back end of one of those spaceships.
Wow.
So, anyway, so in that idea where we're coming into where Lightyear will fit into the timeline because we've already established that Buzz Lightyear is a fictional character, this has to be a fictional movie within that universe. But I want to see it end in that weird old, was it 1996, 1997?
5, something like that.
Yeah. I think,
Yeah.
did Toy Story come out the same year as Jurassic Park?
I
think it did.
so.
I think it did. That'd be 93. So, I want to see that level of animation of the characters leaving, and then they're talking to Andy about his upcoming birthday.
Cool.
That's what I want to see. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I want to see with that. And then also tugging at our childhood, randomly out of fucking nowhere, an upcoming movie on Disney Plus, the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie.
Yeah, this is different, to say the least.
Very much
I
so.
was not expecting this.
It came out of nowhere. There was no teasers. There was nothing. We just got a trailer.
Yeah, it's yeah.
And
What can I say?
I mean, the only thing I'm excited about with this movie is it seemingly takes place in the Roger Rabbit universe.
Yeah.
Where cartoons are real living beings.
I'm just thinking of the fact you put in Seth Rogen in there. That cannot end good.
Yeah, but at least he's playing no one we know.
Yeah.
He's some badly put together CG character, and I'm okay with that.
And you know what? The voices kind of throw me off because like you, I remember Chip and Dale with the squeaky chipmunk voices. That's what I want, right?
Yeah.
Sure, unless they're gonna, somehow just kind of explain it away that oh, woo, thank God we don't have to use those squeaky voices on the TV again.
No, they're going to. They have to because well, if you know how they did it, they basically the actors had to speak in slow motion, and then they pitched up and sped up their voices to get the chipmunk. So they would never talk like that, and you're thinking about the characters themselves on screen would be acting. So I guarantee you, at some point, they will probably near the beginning, they'll have to address it. Or what's going to happen at some point, they're going to run into something
Yeah.
like maybe it's a camera filter or a weird zone they go through somewhere where their
Yeah.
voices are going to go back to that for some reason and be like, oh, I haven't heard that in 30 years. Glad
Yeah.
we don't. There'll be a direct reference to it. There will
Totally.
be. Because if you hear the original actors' voices, I think they were
Yeah.
female in the first place. They don't sound like that. You know,
No,
they're high pitched, but they're not like that. But it's just like Alvin and the Chipmunks wouldn't sound like that technically.
yeah.
So I mean, I can't say I'm excited, but I'm interested.
It's
Same here.
It-
I'll
it-
watch it when it's out, but don't really care.
I don't know that I'll go to the theater for this. Oh, I don't have to. It's a Disney Plus, so we're already
Yeah.
good. It's straight to Disney Plus release. Never announced, never brought up. No, like, hey, we're working on something you guys will like. Now, I do want to fucking see Disney afternoon fucking cameos out the ass, though.
Yeah, for sure.
I want Darkwing Duck. I want fucking well, Gummy Bears is ever so slightly referenced with the weird amalgamation creature at the end of the trailer.
Gizmo Duck.
Gizmo Duck will be fun. Now hold on, here's the thing. We already get DuckTales because we get Scrooge McDuck literally swimming in money.
True.
So, and we get Aladdin. We get Aladdin tease, so that's Aladdin from the Aladdin series.
Oh yeah.
Which, you know what? They have to give us the genie that didn't, which what I think was Dan Castanella, because Robin Williams didn't come back to reprise him until the third movie. He was not part of the series at all.
Yeah.
So I think if we get a genie in whatever Aladdin cameo, it's gonna have to be that genie.
I'd be okay with that.
It'll be interesting. Like, it's like I want my childhood. I want all the childhood bullshit cameos. I want every fucking reference. If they're gonna do this, if they're gonna go full nostalgia, fucking go hard.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Mike?
Oh, something just went off on my phone.
Yeah, we can hear that.
Yeah.
Still hear it. So you were making a phone call is what you were doing. But it's going to be a weird movie. I like the idea that cartoon characters can choose to exist as normal or have the CGI surgery.
Yeah.
It's like plastic surgery for cartoon characters is to become CGI. That's interesting.
It is.
And it's a funny way to explain why cartoons have looked the way they have. So
Hey, bye.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess Sean had to go.
I suppose. Okay, bye.
He didn't say anything. They just suddenly left. That sucks. Oh well, we lost Sean. It was getting late. Anyway, we'll wrap it up as soon as we can here. Let's see. I think that's it for. Well, we got the teaser trailer for Lord of the Rings TV show dropped.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Lots of controversy around that. What to do? Not getting into that right now. Unfortunately, Ivan Reitman died.
Yeah, that's a shame.
That is a shame. Luckily, he passed in his sleep. Creator of Ghostbusters as we know it. So many other crazy movies, Animal House, and a lot of shit that happened early on. Apparently,
at least he got that last awesome movie of Ghostbusters Afterlife out.
Yeah, that's true. Even though his son, and I don't think they had any inclination that he was going to die. It doesn't seem like it.
No. But you know what? It's nice to see that it got out, and at least he got to enjoy making that movie all over again.
Yeah. So I mean, it sucks. It does suck, but he's done. I guess the next Ghostbusters movie will have for Ivan in it. Though I was reading into the article that'll be posted below, and I did not realize he got his start in a little ways thanks to the adult film industry. Maybe I'm wrong, but I was reading his interesting history of how he got into making movies. So it's before he got to Animal House and stuff like that. Apparently, there was some hinky stuff that he had to start with. So, hey,
wow,
it is not but making. So it's very interesting. Maybe I read that wrong. Maybe I need to reread it. But R.I.P. to one of the greats. His legacy lives on. However, and his son, he has been instilled with a lot of what he did.
Oh, for
A
sure.
lot of it. So also, I like how Sean has to go suddenly because he's the reason we had to start late in the first place. This episode
Last to arrive, first to go.
Yes, exactly. It's fine.
Gratitude for you.
Like, we don't have a normal schedule yet, guys, so we're doing what we got to do on the one day we're all kind of off.
Please don't
And
be harsh.
yeah, and
We're
he had to do a lot of work today, and then ended up coming home late, way later than we know. Like, normally when we probably be thinking about finishing is when he finally got home, so we're running later than we should. But it is what it is. So yeah, and he has to go take care of the family, so we can't hold that against him. The last thing I want to talk about is something fucking weird. And it's just an addition to an already strange story, but this new information came out in the past week or so. Um, I don't know. Before I shared it, were you aware of who Ollie London was or the weirdness around it, Mike?
You know what? I sort of kind of heard a few things here and there that apparently, for some odd reason, this guy is famous.
Yeah.
Would you call it that?
He's I don't know exactly what he did. He's either a YouTuber or TikToker or something like that, and he got his start over in England. Became fairly well known. His name's Ollie London.
Ugh.
And somewhere along the way, mind you, he's still young. He's like in his 20s. He somehow got completely obsessed with the group BTS, the Korean pop group BTS.
Yeah.
And more specifically, one of the leads, I guess you want to call it, Jinmin, or Jimin. I forgot exactly how to say the name. I think it's Jimin.
Pikmin.
And he
Yeah.
adopted the identity of Jimin to the point that once he had his surgery, or right before he had his surgery, he started putting out videos claiming that he identifies as Korean, he identifies as Jimin, he identifies as all these other things. So he is not transsexual, he's transracial and
Yeah.
transgeminal.
Yeah.
He wants to be Jimin. He has gone through, I don't know exactly how many surgeries, but they're estimating over $150,000 or pounds. I forgot exactly which way the article says it.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen images of what he originally looked like. I shared it in the group chat, though. I'd never seen how he initially looked.
Yeah. You
But
know what? He looked perfectly normal.
he looked like a perfectly normal dude, and initially with just getting a little bit of work done, like making his lips puffy for some reason, dyeing his hair, bleaching his hair, trying to grow it out and make it styled.
Yeah.
Okay. But he got surgery to change his cheekbones, his jawline. Originally, he was trying to get his eyes
Yeah.
narrower. I'll just say it that way, narrower. And it didn't seem to take. Looking at the most recent pictures, his eyes are still fairly round, unfortunately. But he's literally doing everything in his power to make himself look like another person.
Yeah, sorry, dude. It's not going to happen no matter how hard you try. And I'm not being harsh. I'm just being a realist.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting dichotomy, okay? Because lots of people have been crying about cultural appropriation. Isn't this kind of taking it a bit too far to want to identify?
This is personal appropriation. This isn't even cultural.
Yeah, but still, one could easily say that, he's culturally appropriating a look here. It's like you have an interesting dichotomy here, right? On one end, you got this whole appropriation thing. On the other hand, you have, he's trying to identify as blah, blah, blah. So, okay, which is it? Is he culturally appropriating by trying to, take the look of a ethnicity, which in this case would be Asian, or is he just identifying with, what he feels comfortable with? Either way, he's not really winning. He
Well,
just
no.
really made it awkward for himself. You know?
Well, best case scenario, he's made himself uh very unique. But hold on, I have I have an exact quote for this, and I'm gonna have to edit this. Hold on.
Unique is definitely the
Hold on,
word.
hold on. I gotta play this.
You know what? Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, so I thank you. Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Millions of families suffer every year.
There we go. So from The Office, the great where Jim is pretending to be Dwight. This guy is literally pretending that he is this Asian pop culture icon.
Yeah.
And there have been weird people in the past, and we didn't glorify said weird people. We tended to shuffle them off into a corner and tell them, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
Nobody is telling, at least nobody close to said, Ollie, especially doctors who are doing these surgeries, no one is telling him no. And we've reached a problem with this generation
Yeah.
that have never been told no. And too
Exactly.
many people have been giving too much money to allow these people to become actual freaks. Like before, they just had some issues. But some people make themselves into actual freaks. And it's scary that it's not only allowed, but it's encouraged. And I think that this is a massive, massive example of how letting identity politics run rampant and crazy. And like, I don't
Yeah.
want this to really be very much of a political podcast, but we've talked a bit about actual politics earlier, but this goes into identity politics and into a realm where this is wrong.
Yeah.
Beyond the fact that it's weird. People can just be weird and it not hurt anybody or cause any issues. This is pushing into problematic. Like,
yeah, it is.
in the very real term, because it's one thing to just want to look like that person, because there's been those people who want to have the Barbie figure, they want to have Pamela Anderson's rack, things like that. You dye your hair, you work out, you get breast implants, whatever, something strange, get a tan to look like somebody, get fix your hair a certain way. But to have surgery to make yourself look like another race. Now, mind you, he's failing hard. But here's the extreme part that came up this week. This person wants to have penis reduction surgery because the average penis size of someone in Korea is between 3.2 and 3.5 inches.
Yeah, see,
he wants to literally hold on, Mike. Hold on, Mike.
Okay.
He wants to literally pay someone to remove parts of his penis to be more Asian in his penis.
Yeah.
No. Fucking tell him no.
This is what it's come down to. Okay. That it's the whole circle of diversity problem. Okay. You have a little tiny fringe minority that keep on going, we demand to be included in your space to make things more diverse and inclusive. Then it goes to, we demand you change this space to our liking and ban stuff that offends us. Then you go to, we demand you be kicked out of this space we created since you offended us. And then it goes to, lol, if you hate us, why not just make your own space? Then we're back to space one, right? Which is, we demand to be included in your space. See, the problem here is that you cannot now criticize these people, because if you do, your business will be shut down. You will be canceled. You will be doxxed. You will blah, blah this. You will blah, blah that, right?
Yes.
Now, every doctor that now comes across this bozo's way will have to do what he demands, no matter how unsafe it is, because if they don't, they will be labeled either transphobe or whatever phobe you have on the list.
But with this case, with this very particular case, it's not even being a phobe of any kind. It's not like we're holding it against him because he feels like a woman. He feels like another person who already exists.
But this is the problem, though, right? It's because we're catering to everybody's feelings that he's willing to, get done what he gets done, and every doctor that performs whatever surgery that he wants is too afraid to say anything.
I don't even know if it's afraid or maybe they have different standards.
Guaranteed.
In the UK. Well, I'm saying maybe there's weird because there are doctors who'll do anything as long as there's money and they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, of course.
But there's also a reason why people go to like Brazil or Mexico for certain things, because they don't ask questions. Sometimes they do better work. There are people, because at least here in the US, I'm just going to use this as an example. There's certain levels of dentistry / orthodontics that doctors won't do, and people will go to another country. And I'm not talking about an extreme measure. I'm talking about rebuilding teeth as they are, instead of fucking forcing someone to get dentures or implants. There's people who have literally worked to the point that they will rebuild a broken or misshapen or fucked up tooth from scratch, from the base of the tooth that's still there, and then work to keep it going. And it's not like a crown. It's not like well, I guess it's similar to a crown, but not built the same. And that's not even something they remotely explore in our country, but it's available elsewhere. Now, he might be going off to Switzerland or Czechoslovakia, somewhere other than the UK to get these surgeries. I'm not sure. I have to read further into it, to a doctor that's not going to ask questions and will do whatever the fuck. Because if he's got the money, got no reason to say no. And there's no moral quandaries in some of these things, and there should be. And if a doctor just raises that moral quandary, he just says, okay, fine, I'll go find another doctor. That doctor can't then say, there's not like you can put out a medical APB that says, hey, this guy's looking to get this done. Everyone should say no. There should be something like that. There should be like a warning attached to this guy's file that if he shows up anywhere asking for a crazy procedure, they should say no.
Yeah.
And, you may have seen this before, the cat lady who okay, so she's an example of this, of extreme surgery, just because she's weird and people allowed it to happen, and she became famous for that. But you have people who tattoo their whole bodies. There's like the lizard people who literally tattoo themselves to look like lizards, have coral installed in their head to grow horns. They split their tongues. Body modification like that. One, it's weird, but it's kind of an expression of you. You're just kind of a weirdo.
Yeah.
But you're still underneath, really, you're still just a human who just has interesting artistic expression. This is going beyond artistic expression. This is going into, I'm going to say this and it's going to be weird, but I think you'll understand what I'm saying. I think this guy's $1 million short of having that dude's face actually stolen and put on his own.
Yeah. This dude's quite low on a gallon.
Yeah, I think if anything, because I know it's gotten back to Jim and proper. He's got to like, if I was him, I would say, dude, you have to stop. You're not a fan. You're not doing this. You're acting insane, and you must stop. This is not normal behavior. Like, there's acceptable behavior, and then there's insane. And this is what he's doing, and it's sad that not only is it being promoted, not only is it being allowed to happen, but he's becoming more famous because of it.
Yeah. And
the internet is a thing, and TikTok is a thing, and therefore these type of people are glorified, and they shouldn't. They should be given mental help to help right them. And
this goes back to what I was saying, right? Mm-hmm. That dare you say anything or deny anything to this person, then the whole mob will come after you.
I agree on that sentiment when it comes to
when in actuality, this guy needs help,
this guy specifically needs mental help, and he's not getting it.
Because when you get to the point of essentially, self-mutilation, even though it's done by a doctor, right?
Yeah.
To look like an entirely different ethnicity and yet still failing at it?
Yeah, I don't even understand how he's
You're
failing at it.
wrong headspace. I'm sorry. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
you are. You are. Yeah. You know, dude, looked here's kind of where I stand with uh, you know, plastic surgery as it were, right?
Yeah.
I can understand if somebody's been in a horrible accident or mutilated
Mhm.
or for mild mental reasons,
Like body
right?
dysmorphia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. To help them feel a little bit
Or
better.
just dysphoria, either way.
Right. You know, this, on the other hand, this is taking something way too far.
This is a case of yeah.
And second of all, you know, to really totally go out of your way, spend that a much amount of money
Yeah.
when physically there's really nothing wrong with you. You have to look at the mental aspect of the
Yeah.
person's state of being and start really questioning where this deep-rooted problem of you thinking that you really look horrible and you need to look like somebody else is, you know?
The fact that in his head, his problem is not how he looked. It's that he doesn't look like this specific person.
Yeah.
That's a huge issue. Like, and I get it. Body dysmorphia or dysphoria, either way, is a real thing, and body
It is.
mutilation people do exist for a reason.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's, I don't want to say healthy, but it's understandable.
It is.
Other times it's you have something wrong and you just need it fixed, like whether that's in your head or actual physical ailment. And then some people, they just want to feel better about themselves, so they go and get a boob job. They get a mild facelift or Botox, or they have a particular thing corrected, like, you know, something that's just slightly out of whack, and they just need to get it, you know, cinched up, something, you know.
Exactly.
But to reach a point that not only did you have things put in your body, not only did you have your skin moved around, but to the point that you are removing parts of an essential reproductive organ on your body,
Yeah.
because in your own head you are a different race.
Yeah.
I think we reached a completely new level of racism, Mike. A white guy declares that he feels Asian to the point that he is now taken on a massive Asian stereotype to the point that he is altering his body.
Yeah.
I think technically he should make himself shorter too, if that's going to be that way.
Like,
Then
first of
again, they might be the same height. Maybe that's why he hasn't done
See,
it.
and this is beyond me. Why anyone would want to do that to themselves? I mean, you know,
Not even want, need.
Yeah,
I
exactly,
need to
right?
look like him. Then it's basically how it's come to it.
It's not going to happen. I'm sorry, you can't change DNA no matter what. You're not going to look like this Asian fellow from a pop group in Korea. It's not gonna happen.
What
It
you know what? I think the doctors are rebelling or resisting by just not getting him there.
Yeah.
Like the
I
eyes
mean,
alone, like that's the funny part. Like he did not, except for when his face was still puffy after surgery, because he did a few live streams while his face was still fucked up. His eyes looked correct there because they were so swollen.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
like even now, the most modern picture of him, most up to date picture of him, no, he's not there. But like
No.
to change it just doesn't work. Like
No.
I think ultimately, if he could somehow get a MRI scan of the bone structure and like
Yeah.
actually have his face sculpted properly internally to be the same, he would. I believe he actually would. The funny thing is, like, his hair still doesn't even technically work. It's like his
No, it
hair
doesn't.
doesn't want to cooperate,
No.
and he's
This
just
is
he's a
beyond
cartoon, and he keeps erasing. It's like he's trying to draw the perfect image of what he thinks Jimin looks like, and he keeps erasing and starting over the same old spot.
Yeah.
You know how it is. You're an artist. You remember, like, okay, I gotta erase this. Let me fix this.
Exactly.
You never quite get rid of those old lines that are still back there, and you're still drawing over the same shit.
Yeah.
Because you
See,
don't have another piece of paper to work with. You have the same fucking paper, the same fucking
the
pencil.
thing is, with bone, eventually it's going to wear to the point where it's not going to heal properly, period. And you're going to do permanent damage that's going to last until the day he dies. And he's going to be going through a lot of pain, consistent pain.
Mike, this man is trying to shorten his penis.
Yeah.
I don't
know.
think bones are his problem.
No, I know. But I mean,
what? Okay, so what if he has
the
what
other problems that he's going to be facing aside from a short penis?
I mean, what if something goes wrong and he can never urinate properly? What if he can never get an erection the same way ever again because of this? I was
too
like,
bad. So sad.
I'm just saying, it's like, it's like,
This is beyond creepy fandom stalker.
this is even beyond the normal trans argument.
Yeah,
this is an entirely new lane of issue, and it's scary and it's super sad.
It is,
and I don't get it. I don't want to say I'm a normal person because I'm definitely not normal, but as someone who I cannot comprehend the level of this. I can comprehend wanting to lose weight. Maybe someday if I lose enough weight, but I have excess skin, I need to have, we're going back to the 600-pound life argument. Those people have problems, and it manifests in their body.
Yeah.
And they do have to take drastic measures to fix that, both mentally and physically, to the point that, yes, they have to have surgery to fix it. But in the end, they don't become a cartoon of themselves.
Yeah.
The cartoon is where they came from.
You know, here's the other side of this.
I like how we wrap that around. I like how I brought that all the way back around.
The guy that Jimin. Yeah. I wonder if this news has gotten to him.
No, it has 100%.
Yeah,
because Ollie's been doing this for like 2 years. He started his transition like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
with makeup and eye color or dyeing his hair, and then like just becoming weirder and weirder. And then if Jimin changes anything stylistically, whether that's hair color or something like that, he does try to keep up with that.
Yeah, it's weird. I wonder what he thinks of this.
I'm sure he's freaked out because this is not even a thing there.
I'm sure.
And it at some point you'd have to be like politely flattered.
Yeah,
as a social thing, but internally you would be screaming.
Oh yeah, like, oh my god, I can't believe this person is
doing. To my knowledge, they've never met.
Yeah.
And as a super fan, I would assume that he's gone to concerts or something like that. Mind you, COVID has probably slowed that significantly down. But I would think that he would have to be on a watch list to not be able to get like backstage at a concert.
Yeah, because if I was this guy, I would be so paranoid thinking that this and I don't want to say freak show, but for all intents and purposes, the way this guy is basically mutilating himself to look like this other person,
he's becoming a freak show. It is true.
Becoming a freak show, but I'd be thinking in the back of my head, is this guy in the crowd? Is this guy like around the corner?
They would have to know. They would. I mean, like,
this would drive me batshit insane. Excuse the language.
Yeah,
but it would, you know. And just to give myself some sort of relief, I'd be contacting or sending a message to this guy that's doing this to himself, saying, "Stop doing this." You know, I'm thankful that you like my music, but you got to stop doing this to yourself. Be your own human being. You know, be you instead of wanting to be me. Right?
That's the perfect way to put it. That is the perfect way. You are not me. Stop trying to be me. You are a different person.
Discover who you can be.
I mean, I could try like hell, and with all the money in the world, I'm not going to be Idris Elba.
No,
it'd be great. I'd love to be that. No, here's the thing. I can't remember. Maybe this is my own headcanon, that he may have had vocal cord surgery to try to sound
Yeah, more than likely.
I might be imagining that, but I don't feel like it's out of the realm of possibility.
Well, he certainly made it awkward.
Yes, this is definitely an awkward human to end on. And by the
Yeah.
way, Sean, I think Sean technically did the most awkward thing today here on the podcast by just bailing in the middle of it because he had to
That-
go make dinner in such a
Yeah.
crazy way. Oh, bye! Is that how we end from now on? We just go, bye! And fucking leave?
I think so.
No,
I think
I
so.
don't think we do that anymore. We don't really have a sign out as of yet, guys. But if you want to follow Mike, you can do so on YouTube at the Comic Relief Crusader. And your website is...
Freelance graphics, that's with a K at the end, .com.
Yes. And of course, you can follow me on all the Shoky Reviews things, Shoky Reviews 2, and it doesn't have to make sense. Of course, Instagram is also Shoky Reviews, so is Facebook. And if you want to join the Shoky Discord, you can do that as well. Somewhere down the line, we'll be taking questions once we get actual fans. You know, if you guys have interesting topics or things you want to talk about instead of us having to do all the work necessarily, or you just want to ask anything about us, we could do that. Just for the hell of it, just reaching out there, guys. It's fine. Hopefully we can make this happen on a regular basis. That's the goal. We don't have everything set in stone, but, you know, I think so far the formula is kind of working for us, and I'm happy with it. I think it's fun just to be able to sit down and talk with people because it's not something I have readily available anymore. So
Thank you for tolerating us.
yes. Well, I'm glad that you guys are not only up for it, but are also, you know, pretty good at it. Even though you stepped out on us last night.
Yeah,
Went over to another fucking podcast, you cheating whore.
I try.
Yeah. Did you at least think of us the whole time?
I did. And enjoying it thoroughly.
Good.
Because how else am I going to get views on my channel?
I don't know. I can't even answer that question.
Besides this, I'm trying to market myself.
Yes, I know.
Plus, also trying to get jobs that way, as I am a graphic designer and would love clients. So
That's true. That's true.
I
All right,
don't have to
guys.
go-
But
Man.
we will see you all next week. Hopefully, if we keep doing this, we got to find new stuff for Sean to watch. If you have any suggestions for shows for Sean to watch now that Peacemaker is over, drop them in the comments down below. We tried to offer him Firefly. We're going to have to remind him to watch that, though.
That's
But
right.
we will see you next time when we figure out how to make it awkward again. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.